having us.
Dave.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks for coming to town.
Oh,
Everybody's very excited.
I'm excited, dude. Playing the club. Had to bring in Ian. Super fan of the show.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Ian. I'm a fan of you, dude.
Oh.
You're a funny motherfucker.
Thank you, bro. Means a lot. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
My
I'm
pleasure.
excited to be at the club, man. It's the fucking
Yeah,
best.
I'm excited to have you guys. Everybody's been pumped. We're pumped.
It's a stroke fest. But you know what, Joe? I'm in town for the club to hang with you and also to promote a special. What do you think?
Yay!
Only I bring one out every other election year. I know.
Nice.
I don't have the turnaround you have, man. You're good.
It's okay. It's when you put them out, they're fucking magic. Skanks for the Memories is still one of my all-time favorite comedy albums. It's a fucking classic.
It's weird when I'm sure you have this where a fan comes up to you and they repeat one of your most horrific jokes, like, hey man, those titties ain't. I'm like, whoa, say it in a corner, dude. Not here.
You know what happens to me sometimes? People bring up bits that I totally forgot.
Oh, true.
And I'm like, oh my God, how does that go? I'll have to ask them. How does it go? Oh yeah, I remember that. What was it on?
Yep, that's what it is, man. It's all a blur.
Well, we're old.
Yeah,
David, we're old now.
My mom's been in the hospital, right? I went in there, and people thought I was the patient. I was sitting in the room with her, and they kept coming over to me. I'm like, her. I wish it was a joke. It's not.
Oh, I've known you for at least 30 years.
For sure. Yeah. Well, it looks better on you than on me. So that's for sure. That's why I brought in my intern to take some of the slack up.
Wait, you guys are the same age?
Oh, that can't be possible. I'm older than you.
How old are you?
59.
I'm 56.
Okay, well, there you go. See?
Yeah.
3 years ago, I looked like that. Now, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to me.
It's all about the maintenance.
Well, yeah, you put the time in.
You got to keep that maintenance up. I saw it coming a long time ago, though. I saw it coming like in my 30s.
Yeah, but you never were like this. I mean, like you never were.
No,
like
I never
flabby.
let myself go.
Yeah.
I never let myself go. I'm terrified of it.
Really?
Yeah, because I've been injured before. I've had a bunch of surgeries. I know what it's like to have things not work good. I'm like, oh, you got to do everything you can to make sure the fucking wheels are still on the machine.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, we all know guys who like Patrice. We lost Patrice.
Yeah.
We all know guys who don't take care of themselves and fucking shit just starts breaking.
What do you
They
think?
just start falling apart.
I'm glad you brought up Patrice because we've lost a lot of greats.
Yeah.
But Patrice is the one. A lot of people super fans always bring up Patrice. What would he do in the age of Ozempic? What do you think?
I don't think he would go along with it.
I could see him putting it on like a cheeseburger or something.
He just was not. He's
not
I don't
into
give
it.
a fuck category. He's not going to do it. Like Brian Simpson got on it for a little while. It was terrible for him.
Really?
He had a terrible reaction.
Wow.
Yeah. And I taught those guys how to eat better. I'm like, just stop eating all the bullshit, and you'd be amazed at how much better you feel.
What do you think is bullshit? Like in these
Bread
times?
and carbs.
Really?
Not all carbs. Like it's not like vegetables are fantastic for you. I'm not one of those people that thinks that you should be on any particular diet because I think diets are different for every person. Some people, vegetarian, vegan, they're fine. Some people, they fall apart. You got to figure out what the fuck is right for you. But for everybody, sugar.
Really?
For everybody. It's
Even sweetener, no good?
Well, like artificial sweetener, if that kills you, you're a fucking pussy. People have been taking that Diet Coke takes you out. Get the fuck out of here.
Overdosed on stevia.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not afraid of xylitol. I think that it's fucking pasta and bread for a lot of people. I know it is for me. I overconsume calories when I eat that stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's so wonderful to stuff in your fat face. Like
So when's
lasagna or something.
Yeah. When's the last time you had a piece of cake? Just like for shits and giggles.
I'll do it every now and then.
There
Like
you
once
go.
a week or something like that. I give myself a day where I don't give a shit. I'll eat pizza.
What about what is
a
carbo
cheeseburger.
loading? Aren't you supposed to do a bunch of that before you do like a race or you ride bikes?
Yeah, that's a lot of guys do that. That you'd have to talk to like endurance athletes about that, but essentially they're just like taking in a lot of carbohydrates before like ultra marathons and things like that. And then they also have gels. They have these carb gels they'll squirt in their mouth
Oh,
while
wow.
they're running. Yeah, they're just all about performance. Those folks are all about just
Yeah.
like trying to squeeze out another 2 or 3 minutes in a 100-mile race.
Oh.
That's crazy.
I ride a bike in New York City, so I eat a ton of pasta and I'm riding 3 miles. I'm like, I got a carbo load. This is important.
But that's a fucking workout, though. Boy, that's
Yeah.
so good for your health, except for the fact that you're breathing in brake dust.
I think that's the least of it in New York.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like you're driving through like a zombie horde. You know, it's like
yeah. Homeless dust.
You're pedaling, and you're also kind of basically like away, get away.
Yeah. Thought about wearing like armor.
Yeah, charge of the light brigade.
I have used my bike chain as like a mace. Right? Oh yeah.
He's got people away from you.
He's gotten some great tangles, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
He has. Yeah.
Is it that bad down there?
Oh yeah.
I mean, you got to learn. Sometimes you have to pop off because cars will turn and they act like you don't exist. So you got to like yell and everything.
Right.
And a lot of these guys, especially since the pandemic, is everything's food delivery. So they all go down the wrong way. They're all buzzing around you on the side. It's terrible. And this guy caught me on a bad one. I was having a bad day and he was coming at me. I was like, wrong way, asshole. And he came up, got in front of me, stopped, and was like, asshole, you're an asshole. And he smacked my coffee out of my hand.
A white guy?
Yeah, it was white. That's why I said something.
That southern drawl really gave it away.
Sounds like a really privileged guy from the suburbs.
No, if it was
a Yale,
someone from the Bronx, I would have been like, fair enough. Good for you, sir. I'm wrong.
So he climbed out, smacked your coffee.
Oh, yeah, and I spit in his face. And
wow.
Jesus Christ, dude.
And then I went down, and then he came up again and took his phone out and started to tape me. And I was like, you're a fucking pussy, you fucking snitch. And then I took my chain. And I was like, you want to be fucking tough? Let's be tough. And he was like, you're crazy. And I rode away, and I went, welcome to New York. Because there was a whole crowd of people watching.
That's coming from the guy who just saw Ghostbusters how many times? This guy is a Ghostbuster nut.
Yeah.
He's a fanatic.
He was probably coached. If anyone gives you a hard time, you'll film.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Film them.
Yeah.
Shame them.
Yeah.
You don't like immigrants.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, he was French, so that was a
Ah.
terrible French accent. But
I didn't get that at all.
Yeah,
I didn't get that at all on that one.
Like
No.
Sound
I
like
made him sound
terrorist.
Uzbeki, but he was French.
Yeah, but you got to be careful fighting people from other countries. They play by different rules.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you're with a guy you're tangling, and all of a sudden he pulls out a snake. I got a poisonous viper on me. You know who told me that? This guy I knew from Malaysia. He said, you know, in Malaysia, you know, you go to a bar and these guys have these rings that are dipped in poison. So, like, you know, you'd be with the guy and all of a sudden he'll, like, on the back, like that, and they're like, ow, what was that? Like a pinprick? And then you're dead like a day later.
No.
It's a Malaysian hello.
Like those spears dipped in shit in Vietnam?
Something like that.
You could probably survive the spear dipped in shit before you could survive the poison.
Yeah. But I was like, in Malaysia, wow. Tough. It's a tough scene over there. Well, Ian is, you know, what was I going to say? Like, we've been working together for a long time.
Yeah.
And he's sober, too, you know, so I'm sorry, this is kind of like a bore. But, you know, the sober life on the road is not very cool. You know, the chain smoking and the coffee. That's pretty much it.
We go on adventures.
We do.
Daytime sober adventures.
What do you think it would be like sober, no coffee, no cigarettes?
I can tell you right now.
Suicide.
Because my plane was delayed and I hadn't had a coffee in 12 hours. I got that weird headache. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like it, from the front all the way to the back. And I was like, that's coffee withdrawal right there.
Yeah.
Well, you also don't drink water.
Yeah. Water is for,
You
no.
only drink coffee?
Pretty much. Yeah.
I have to remind him to
Dehydration
drink
is
water. Yeah, I'm like, here's a water, David.
Yeah.
Oh, my
He just
God.
doesn't want it.
Oh my God. It's really, that's like the least you can do for your body. And I'm like, nah, I don't think so.
Well, those connecting flights are hell when you can't smoke cigarettes. You know,
Yeah.
it's like an 8-hour connecting flight. Then you got to smoke in the family bathroom at the airport.
There's only one airport where you can smoke, and that's Vegas, I think.
Is that the only one that has a booth?
It has that weird, like
that
it's
coffin room?
Yeah, that kind of
Can't you
everyone can
smoke in the
stare at you and
Nashville
shame
airport
you.
too?
I don't think so.
Bro, that is the wildest thing they ever did. Give you a box where you can do drugs in.
Oh yeah.
Just get in there.
Yeah.
Because it's going to fuck up everybody else, so get in there
Yeah.
so you don't fuck
Get
it
your
up
little
for everybody
cage.
else.
Live
You
it up.
little rat.
Well, the crazy thing is you used to be able to smoke on the fucking plane.
Yes.
I remember it clearly when I was a kid. Dice used to have a bit about it. The
Really?
smoking section. We're run a fucking tube. It's all the same air.
That'd be the
That's
best.
because they had a fucking smoking section. That joke, tried doing that joke today. People are like, what? Smoking on a plane?
Even smoking jokes. People are like, what are you talking about?
No, I thought smoking was back. I thought all the scenesters, the posers are into smoking cigarettes now because vaping became too mainstream. I thought that they went to... That's what I've heard in New York, like smoking in a restaurant, smoking in a bar somewhere, just to have like, it's kind of like a retro kind of, look how cool I am, you know?
Well, it's trading the moment for the future.
True. That is true. But I was just in a hospital with old people. There's not much future.
You want that moment. You trade that moment for like a decay.
Yes.
A certain amount of decay you're going to experience in your future.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
You got to live in the moment, you know?
Sure, until you can't.
Well, I'm telling you, I was just around a lot of old people. Like the woman next to my mom in the hospital, 100 years old.
No.
And she was no Betty White, by the way. All right. It was like we peeked through the curtain. It's like, hi. And it was just like eyes over an oxygen mask glaring at us. Like, whoa, okay, we get it. I'll see you at the hardware store in heaven.
She was done. She was done.
But you're going to live forever. I mean, we all know that.
That's not possible.
Come on.
No one's living forever.
Well,
But my goal is just to stay healthy. Just keep it moving.
keep it moving.
Make sure it moves good.
Would you eventually segue like from like a less strenuous workout? You know what I'm saying? Like when you get older,
Not unless I have to.
like a Tai Chi in a park, nothing like that.
I'd get to do a Tai Chi in the park. Tai Chi in the park makes it look like you read a lot. You know, you're like really into esoteric things.
True.
You're out there moving slow in the park, doing an ancient kung fu.
In New York, that's called methadone. People are just like in their own like world.
I used to go to this pool hall, and the methadone clinic was right down the street. And so my friend Johnny used to call them the Methadonians. They would come in, they'd get their dose, and they'd just come in and play pool. They were like,
That's
Perfect.
the best.
bro, for sure, they were high.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
this idea that methadone is
yeah.
like, that's what stops you from using heroin. Right. But it also gets you high,
Dude,
right?
yeah. That's like
No, I know
Suboxone.
guys who are addicted to methadone. Mm-hmm. And what was I going to say? That you can take with just a pill, right? Isn't that what that is?
You can drink it too.
You can?
Yeah.
Wow.
And Suboxone is the same thing.
Yeah,
It's
I had
just
a
like-
guy come in and explain that on the podcast once. He actually ran a clinic at one point in time, and he was explaining how they're just getting you hooked on these other things,
Yeah.
and these other things also get you high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you done it before?
No.
Suboxone?
No. But I mean, it's just like,
I've heard mixed reviews, though. Some people say it doesn't do that to you.
well, I mean, it's like whatever gets you off the thing that's killing you. You know, it's like harm reduction, but eventually you got to get off that
Well,
if
from
you want to be like
my
totally sober.
understanding is that methadone is just as bad, if not worse, for you.
Really?
I don't think it's good for you.
I mean, my cousin's on it. She's doing great.
I think Dr.
Well, there you go.
I think
What
Dr.
more do you need?
Carl Hart told me. I think that if that the problem with fucking any opiates is your body develops a tolerance.
Yeah.
And then you go Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Rush was taking like 99 pills a day or something
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah.
He
Really?
went deaf from it, supposedly.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I didn't know that about him.
Yeah. Homeboy was going
explains it.
hard. He had his maid buying him. You know, just like excellence in broadcasting. I just imagined him just fucking blasted out of his mind,
90.
wandering around his house,
Yelling the most horrific things.
on opiates.
Yeah.
You know,
Kind of the life.
rubber band around his balls, just fucking out to lunch. Painkillers may have caused Limbaugh's deafness.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Could a common painkiller, taken in massive quantities, by the way, contributed to Rush Limbaugh's well-known hearing loss? Research findings suggest that the radio talk show host's apparent addiction to Vicodin could be the culprit behind his mysterious attack of deafness 2 years ago. Doctors over the past several years have reported dozens of cases of Vicodin addicts who become deaf, and in some cases only regain their hearing with the help of cochlear implants, such as the one received by Limbaugh. It's pretty clear that there's an association, says Dr. Jeffrey Harris, an ear specialist at the University of California, San Diego Medical School. The ear is sensitive to drugs, and this particular association with Vicodin has become more relevant as people are getting their hands on it as a recreational drug. How many did he take at the height of his pilliness? Find that, because I think it was really nutty.
That's
I think
90.
he was up to I think he was in the 90s.
Wow.
A day?
A day.
I took 90 in a week, and I was flying high. I can't imagine a day.
I believe it was Vicodin that I took once when I had knee surgery, and it was. I was like, I'd rather be in pain. Like, I feel so stupid.
Yeah.
But then I had a buddy of mine who was a musician, and he said he would take it, and it would really help with his creativity when he's writing songs.
Really? Wow.
Sounds like an excuse.
But I think it's a thing. It's definitely a crutch, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's a thing where it's like different for different people. Like for Stanhope, weed is horrific.
Yeah. No, he's not a weed guy.
You can't do it.
Yeah.
He's an OG drunk.
Right. But
Yep.
for me, weed is like, this is wonderful. Like, I love it. Like,
Yeah.
everything's great. But I just think I think the diversity of like how the differences in people's like just chemistry is very underappreciated in terms of tolerance to food, in terms of how much you
Everyone's
can
different.
exercise, like what kind of diseases you're gonna get. Like it's biodiversity, man.
Well, you got to try it to find out.
Yeah, we're all fucking different. Like any one size fits all. Get the fuck out of here with that. That doesn't work with people. We're so different. We're almost like a bunch of different species all smushed up together.
Yeah.
When I had shoulder surgery, they gave me a pain blocker. Have you had one of those?
No.
It like lasts about 12 hours, and it just blocks the
I
nerve.
have when I had
when it's surgery.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
yeah.
why hasn't that gotten recreational? Because it was like awesome. It was like I was walking around like I don't even feel like I
Was
had
it an
surgery.
epidural where they go into your spine? Is that what you're saying?
No, they just put something like on it.
Oh.
I think. No, you're right. It was in me and then it dissolved or something like that.
No, with an epidural, it's like a spine block.
Okay.
So they do it's like if you want to be conscious. Like I was conscious when I got my knee operated on. So they basically paralyzed me below the waist.
Wow, that's scary.
And then it was wild.
Why would you want that?
I wanted to see it. Because I wanted to see what the surgery looked like. I wanted to see my knee being pulled apart and screwed in together. I wanted to, like they said I could watch it.
Couldn't you just watch it later?
No. Well, this is 1990, whatever
shit.
it was. And so, I said, what are the options? And the doctor said, well, most people, we just put them under. I go, but why would you not put them under? And he said, because sometimes people want to be awake. And I said, well, what happens if you're awake? Like, can I watch? And he's like, yeah. And I go, okay, let's do that. I want to see it.
So you could talk and everything while you were doing it?
Yeah, I could.
Wow.
And you didn't feel any panic?
No, it was interesting. It was interesting because I didn't feel any pain, so I was watching the doctor screw it in and hammer it and fucking.
Oh man!
I was like, woo!
Did at any point were you like, am I dead?
No. Doctor was awesome.
It wasn't out of body?
No, because you're essentially sitting there. I think the way I was seeing it was on a monitor, if I remember correctly. I think there was they had like a cotton shield in front of me, and my legs were there, and then I was looking up at a monitor. If I remember correctly, it's hard. It's a long time ago. It's hard to remember.
And you didn't get
but
sick.
I do remember him manipulating my leg and moving it around, and it was fucked. I didn't have an ACL. So they had to, and it's a pretty serious operation because they have to take a piece of your patella tendon with a chunk of bone from your shin and a chunk of bone from your kneecap. And they pull that out, and then they put it inside your knee and screw it in place.
Wow. Just the sounds alone would have creeped me out.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
When you hear the bone crunching because the fucking screw is going into it, you're like, yo.
I want him to knock me out at the dentist. I can't imagine ACL surgery.
And then afterwards, he was manipulating it too. Like afterwards, I was watching him move it around.
And what was the recovery on that? Like how long?
It took a long time.
I'm sure.
Yeah, that's a long one because there's so much trauma going on there. I think that took like a year before my knee felt normal.
The knee is harder than the shoulder, right? In terms
No, the shoulder's
Shoulder's
very
harder?
hard, very hard, because the shoulder moves all over the place.
Oh, okay.
This is the only thing I could find. He had when he was arrested, they had he had 2,000 plus painkillers in his possession.
In his system or on
His
him?
housekeeper claims that he did over 30 oxys a day.
But that's oxys. That's not Vicodin.
See, that's what they gave me after my
He had
surgery. Oxy.
hydrocodone, Loracet.
Oh, he had
and
everything.
Norcan, or he had a few things.
Oh, which could
Norcos.
hydrocodone can cause hearing loss. It says. Wow! Imagine like what a
pill freak.
what a hell that is too. When
Yeah.
you're a guy who has headphones on for a living. And your pill thing is so wacky.
You can't stop.
It's so wacky you can't stop to the
Yep.
point where your fucking hearing goes away.
Yeah,
Like,
but
now
you're
you can't
feeling
do your job.
so good just with that oxy itch and everything, and then one day you can't hear. What a nightmare. The
I
thing
don't
you
think you're
love.
feeling good, dude.
But he's probably got like 5
Yeah.
doctors to write those scripts like that. Because I mean, honestly, isn't it illegal to like?
Well, he was living in Florida.
That's
and
during
this
the
was
pill
during,
mill. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
like the
The,
pill mill, yeah.
That's a
Claimed
great
that they weren't
doc
doing
on
that.
Netflix. That the guys who were making all that money just selling like fake, like it was just like anybody, people coming in out of Kentucky,
Yeah.
like, hey, I got a bursitis. Okay, here you go.
That's my friend Mariana Van Zeller. It's the OxyContin Express. That lady's a gangster. But she exposed the whole thing where they don't have a database. So you
Yeah.
can go
Yeah.
from one place. They're basically pain management centers. Do you remember those?
Yeah, it's all
It's
done now.
It's crazy. Okay, Mr. Limbaugh and I have maintained from the start that there was no doctor shopping, and when we continue to hold this position,
Oh, that's
Mr.
nice.
Black said, I love how he says that just that way. Like, he's giving up the fact that he's playing a game. We continue to hold this position.
Wow.
You're playing a chess game. You're literally like saying it in what you're saying. There's no doctor shopping. I don't know what you're talking about.
But maybe back, like he had to be doing this for years and years and years,
Yo,
right?
if he's getting 2,000
Yeah.
pills, you're going doctor shopping. Or you're buying it from a drug dealer. It's one of those two options.
Yeah, but when
Amazing.
you have endless money,
Yeah. You
you
He
just
was
buy out any
so, yeah.
doctor.
So what we do is you go to the pain management center.
Yeah.
You go and you say, I'm in pain. And they go, oh, we'll write you a prescription for drugs. And you go right next door to the pharmacy
Yeah.
that only sells OxyContins. It was the OxyContin Express.
Did
and
you
then they
see-
would buy them from one doctor and go to another doctor. And they would just get bags of pills, fill their trunk up, and
Oh,
drive
yeah.
to Kentucky.
Yeah, and it was off 95, so they would just go from Florida up to Philly, Delaware, New York,
Bro, how
Baltimore.
many cars made that trip before they started figuring out what was going
Right.
on?
And
And the
they-
pharmaceutical drug companies knew it, so they just kept selling it.
Oh, yeah.
There was some nutty statistic at one point in time where Florida had like 1,000 times more people prescribed it than anywhere else in the world. I'm making that number up, but it was some nutty number where you're like, what in fucking God's name are you people doing? How is that not like an anomaly? It just shows up like this one state has an
Oh, yeah.
insane
Yeah.
amount of prescriptions.
Yeah.
Like, is there some pain in that state?
Living
Maybe
in
we should
Florida.
move people out of that fucking state.
We got the blues, Kentucky bluegrass. No, but I like the parking lot. Did you see in the documentary? They're like the most like vagrant, like just like redneck, just basically
yeah.
screeching around.
Yeah.
And then the doctors themselves were armed because they were so afraid. Like
Oh, those doctors are dealing with zombies.
yeah.
If somebody runs dry of money and no one wants their dick sucked, you're going to get jumped.
I mean, definitely on the way out. It's like an in and out in Oakland. I mean, it's anybody's.
They would have
Jesus
there's a book called Dreamland that talks about the pill crisis and everything and how it started with black tar heroin coming in from Nayarit, Mexico and everything. And there were houses in Ohio that people would line up with stolen goods and trade like chainsaws for pills. And then they would take those goods from Home Depot and like sell them back to make more money to buy pills.
Oh, my God.
Like a pill economy.
I don't know what to say.
You know, there's
Born in the wrong
many
time.
wars connected to that, too.
Yeah.
The conspiracies about Vietnam always had something to do with heroin. And the conspiracy about Afghanistan.
Oh, with the opium?
Dude, we were guarding opium fields.
Yeah.
We were guarding poppy fields.
Mm-hmm.
The United States troops were guarding poppy fields. And they had Geraldo Rivera go over there to gaslight America about it. And they played it on TV. Now tell me, why are you guarding this heroin?
What'd they
We
say?
have to guard the heroin, otherwise the local people won't like us. Like,
Yeah.
oh, makes
Weren't they
sense.
saying that they had to-
Back to you, Tet.
That they had to do it from the Taliban or something? Like
Yeah.
that was like...
Well, that was how, like, look, what's the truth and what's the story are two very different things. They were fucking selling heroin.
Yeah.
Heroin production went up after we invaded by some fucking insane number.
Yeah.
That's not like and then these guys are like, we need you to guard this heroin. Of
So
course.
you like us.
We're here to guard it. So they send fucking soldiers over there to guard heroin.
Yeah.
You
Look
know,
at Geraldo, his big fucking silly smile. Hi, everybody. I'm in a war with a big smile.
Fighting
So
the
look at this. He's trying to. The smile is to let everybody know that everything's fine. This is nothing to be concerned with.
And this is right around the time when opium and OxyContin was just flowing in
But
the
look
country.
at even the way he's like performatively shaking this
He's
guy's
excited.
hand in front of the camera, like he hasn't met this guy before. Like the whole thing is such a fucking charade. Fighting the opium trade by guarding the heroin.
They
Imagine the fucking gaslighting. Fighting the opium trade while guarding the heroin field so that they can make heroin.
Yep.
The poppy fields only make heroin. They're not. There's no tomatoes in there. Like,
Right.
How are you fighting the opium trade by guarding the heroin and ensuring the production?
It grinds at your gut. How do you deal with it? What are you doing about it?
Well, frankly, this is a part of their culture. So while it might grind in my gut, it's what they do. We provide them security, we're providing them resources, and we're providing them alternatives. And the alternatives are...
Hit the
different crops to
brakes.
grow.
The government became a drug dealer. one fucking 100%. There's no way they're doing that unless they're making some.
The alternative's pumpkins. We thought maybe it could pumpkin patch in here.
Once a year,
You know,
the pumpkin
how about a
business
Christmas tree
booms.
farm? I know it goes against the culture, but
If we just time pumpkin season right, we're going to make a killing, boys.
now the Vietnam thing is interesting because I know my cousin who was in Vietnam, he came back and he had a heroin problem. But in actual Vietnam, they don't make heroin. It's Laos, right? Or
Yeah.
it's
the trade routes.
So there you go. It's
Yeah.
like it's in that zone, that
It's
triangle.
controlling the area.
Really?
You know, there's so many conspiracies about what the real reason why they lied and made up a false attack to get us to go into Vietnam. But almost always it's money.
Right.
Almost always. There's no way they do anything like that unless someone's making money. That's what they did then. That's what they do now. Now, if you're making money the legal ways, you know, through like selling weaponry and doing all the stuff that we do, but then you realize that there's all this extra money being made here that you're not getting a piece of.
Right.
If there's trillions of dollars in heroin coming from a place,
Yeah.
you're going to be like, hey, this is kind of bullshit. I'm tired of selling you fuckers tanks. I want a piece of this heroin money.
Yeah.
And that, look, this is like so well documented in our country. That's literally what the Iran-Contra affair was about.
Exactly.
That's
Yep.
when we funded the war, the Sandinistas versus the Contras in Nicaragua.
Yeah.
That's Oliver North. I mean, that's fucking Freeway Ricky Ross was selling them the coke.
Yeah, but we have to invade them because they hate our freedom.
That is important. I'm glad you look at it that way, Ian, because what's really important is framing it in a way that the common person can understand.
Yes.
I know this seems like tyranny to you,
Yeah.
and there's a bunch of fucking murderous drug dealers at the helm of the wheel, but that's not the case.
Yeah.
What about
Something-
fentanyl? What do you think of that?
Oh, I love it. I
It's
want
got
more.
legs.
Delicious.
It's got legs.
I wish it was in everything. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy.
That's
that-
out of China, right?
well, they need the precursors. The precursors apparently are coming from China.
Okay.
Again, China's like, listen, are they buying? Then we're selling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Isn't this their plan to win the 100-year war? To
Well,
get us
they're-
back to opium?
They are
Yeah.
way ahead of schedule. Those guys are killing it. They're fucking killing it. They're killing it with TikTok. I think TikTok accelerated everything.
Yeah, TikTok is the new opium.
It
It really
basically
is.
Yeah.
It basically is. It's
And
turning
that's
kids
our
into
TikTok.
zombies.
Their TikTok is all like, it's good. It's
Their
like for
TikTok
good
is
kids.
science projects,
Yeah.
Learn math.
martial arts. Yeah.
Ours is, are you a
athletic
child? Be
achievement.
sexy and dance. Like, what?
Yeah, drag queens are fun.
They must be
yeah,
really.
I'm a teacher. You need to know how I fuck.
Yeah.
What?
Jesus Christ. I'm non-binary. So you must use these pronouns. And the kids are like, how many pronouns are there?
Yeah, yeah.
What the fuck?
That's I've never been to China. I know guys who've toured through there. Like, I can only imagine what those shows are like. I mean, I guess you do it for the expats. It's not like the locals are dying for American comedy over there.
Bro,
I mean,
Yeah.
they will fucking put you in the ground if you talk some shit over there.
oh yeah, no, don't
you,
even.
you can't go over there and just get drunk and do comedy.
Yeah.
They will put you in the fucking ground.
But you know how, like, when you do like a town and you always make fun of the other town, like to get those people on your side, like,
Of course.
hey, I'm in Pittsburgh. What about that? Scranton? Am I right? Come on, they suck. I'm kidding, but that's the thing. Like, who do they make fun of? I guess us. That would be really. It's just like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm coming
Yeah.
from America with our different branches of government. I
Well-
wish we had just one guy.
One guy, you can get shit done.
Yeah.
You can really get
That's
some
for
shit
sure.
done. Because what you do is you make sure that the businesses are all on the same page as the government. The government owns the businesses. You're all together. You're all part of it. You can't make a decision without them. That way, we're all working in the greater good of the country. You're going to make plenty of money. We're all working in the greater good of the country. And it's a weird hybrid of communism and commerce.
Yeah.
Like, that's what changed. When China figured out, oh, no, we need to have competition, so people need to be able to make money. Let them make money, but we'll still not going to run shit. And then I think America was like, I like what she's wearing.
Yeah.
I want to.
She looks good.
Yeah, I want that dress. I think it's that. That's what I think it is. And I think that's why they're fucking pushing for all this crazy shit today. People think they're really trying to make the world better for people. No, they're not. Shut the fuck up. They're trying to get more control out of you.
What's your, like, when you go overseas, like, do you perform, like, a tour? Or, like, what's your favorite, like, spot overseas?
I love the UK.
Yeah.
I love to go over there. I just love the people. I just love it. They're fun. It's a fun place. I love England. I love Scotland.
How about Australia? Have you done that?
Yeah, I've done Australia. I love Australia. They're
I've never
fun
done
fucking
that.
people, man. They're fun people. You know, there's a lot of America that's like a little uptight.
For sure.
And also like very
A lot.
judgy. Yeah. Very judgy and very uptight.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know there's a lot of wokeness in England, too, but, like, good old fucking regular drunk English guys are fun. I like them. I like drunk Irish guys. They're fun.
Ireland is good.
Yeah, they're fun. The young people there get it. The young people know what the fuck is going on. The young people of today are on the internet. And the young people today are paying attention to people that aren't lying. And they realize, like, oh, we're getting fucked. Yeah. You've been getting fucked. We were getting fucked. We didn't even know we were getting fucked.
Well, I mean, when you go overseas, that's the thing of, like, you know, I say start small, Canada. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get it going. But it's funny how, like, they get all of our references, yet they're better people. You know, that kind of thing.
Canadians?
Yeah.
No, they're not.
I think they are. No.
They're 20% less douchebags in Canada.
How many fights have you seen out of Tim Hortons? That's what I want to know. Exactly. You never see a beat down. You never see a
like a
shooting.
Waffle
I went to a strip club in Calgary, and they use the loonies and toonies, the coins, to give the strippers.
Right.
And people are like, when you go, make sure you don't warm them up with a lighter. They don't like that. And I'm like, what? They're throwing They're throwing hot coins at strippers. These are terrible people.
This might be what we call like sampling bias. Like the study that you took of what kind of people Canadians are at a whole was at a strip club.
Blanket statement.
And where was the strip club? What town?
Calgary.
Calgary. Okay. A strip club in a fucking cattle town, a frozen cattle town, in one of the toughest fucking places on earth to live.
Yeah.
I forgot it is a cattle town.
Bro.
Yeah.
I've got some friends my friends John and Jen, they live in Edmonton, and they live out in Alberta, and it's so cold out there. You can take hot water and throw it in the air, and it freezes before it hits the ground.
Wow.
Bro, they get to 50 below, 60 below.
A week before I was there, it was -30, and then the week I went, it was 32 degrees, and people were like, "Oh, I'm wearing shorts." It was fucking nuts.
That's
Hardy.
why.
Yeah.
Hardy
That's
folk.
why they're so cool up there. You have to have discipline to live. You have to be able to shovel your car out of the fucking snow to stay alive. Like,
tough.
it makes for better people. It makes for more resilient people.
People are better when they know how to put on snow tires.
But
Well,
this
you
guy in a
really-
strip club, honestly, he really, I hate to think you out or anything, but he really, like, you know how, like, most guys go and they just kind of sit and observe?
Yeah.
He's part of the action. He immediately runs in, throwing the dollars, spanking an ass. I'm like, I don't know if you're allowed to do that here, dude. I don't know, like, where you think you're
like
allowed.
that
He's
fun.
from Delaware, so I assume that's like a
In
handshake.
Delaware, it's normal.
Yeah, spanking a woman's ass. But
Shout
like, I
out
was
Gold
like,
Club.
and they liked it too. They were like, oh, finally a guy who gets us is here. They were like
Well,
into him.
They want to have fun, and most guys just sit there and, like, you know.
Yeah,
just
and
do
you-
not- you went up and you put $1 like you were betting poker.
I was like-
exchanging money.
I was like looking around for the cameras. I'm like, I don't want to be observed doing this.
Jesus
But it
Christ.
was really definitely a that was for Louis Katz's
Bachelor party.
half bachelor party.
Half bachelor party?
Because I wasn't going to go to Costa Rica with them. I'm too old for that, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like,
like Oklahoma. It's
Bro,
like
we should
boys'
do that.
night out.
Documentary Dave Attell and down there.
Where,
it's the
Costa
best.
Rica.
Costa Rica is awesome, but
Yeah.
the bugs are gigantic.
Ugh.
Bro, they have crazy bugs you have never seen before. They're like birds.
Really?
They're fucking huge.
I wouldn't be into
There's
that.
there's crocodiles there. I went with my family and we went on a crocodile tour. It's crazy, dude.
They're crocodiles, right?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
real
They have
crocodiles.
bayous?
Well, they
Where are
have
the crocodiles?
Well, it's like rivers, and I don't know what you would call it. I guess you could call it a bayou. If it was, I think bayou is like an American term. Isn't it a French term?
Yes, it
It's
is.
a French term that
Yep.
they use for Cajun country.
CCR term.
Yeah, born on a bayou. That's a jam. But so we're in this boat, right? And my kids are young at the time, and I'm like, "Don't go near there! Don't go near there!" Like every time they go near the edge, one of them is a little daredevil, and she likes to like lean over the edge. I'm like, "Come on, you fucking thrill seeker! These are real dinosaurs, man!" And so we watch this one slide into the water.
Oh,
so there's a
scary.
bunch of them on the deck, on the banks
Banks.
rather, and they're sunning themselves, and you see these fucking 15 feet crocodiles just sunning themselves. They're like, this is so creepy. And then they slide into the water. You're like, Jesus! They're under us. They're in the you're in the boat. And I'm like, this is such a bad idea. And all my father instincts are kicking in. I'm like, don't go near. Don't go
Yeah.
there. Go. Hey, 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 hey! You know, like you're like road rage times 100. You're like, Jesus! You're fucking freaking, man. Because if one of them falls in, you're gonna go in too.
You have to go in,
You
yeah.
have to go in.
Can't leave them.
You have to go in and you have to throw them onto the fucking boat,
And then
then
fight
you
a
got to
fucking
figure out
crocodile. You have to fight
how to
'em.
get up because the crocodile's going to hear the splashing. Oh Jesus!
Wow.
It's so scary.
How about the ocean there too? That's another one where it's like amazing, but there's a lot of shark.
Oh, they have a lot of sharks down
That's
there?
what I heard. Yeah.
Really?
Well,
It's a
down
big
in
shark thing.
Florida, down in the Keys, they have so many bull sharks that there's a bunch of videos of guys fishing, and they're just trying to get the fish in as quick as they can because the bull sharks come along
Amazing.
and just fuck those fish up.
Wow.
There's bull sharks everywhere down there. So many that you're allowed to kill them and cook them.
Really?
Yes.
You can go bull shark fishing?
You can go bull shark fishing in the Keys in Florida.
What does that taste
go.
like?
How many are you allowed? How many bull sharks are you allowed to take? I think you're allowed to take like one a year or something like that. But people go fishing for bull sharks.
How big do they get?
And people get mad at them. You're killing sharks because of the propaganda of the fucking shark's fin soup.
Oh, right.
People don't understand the size of the globe, and they think that sharks are endangered, but not there. They're not.
No.
They might not be over there, wherever the fuck they've been killing them and taking their fins off. But in Florida, there's a lot of them.
Does it fuck up the ecosystem, though, if they kill too many of them?
Sure, yeah, but we're killing too many fish.
Yeah.
You know, the problem is it's not just we the human race. We've depleted the ocean
Yes.
by something around 90% of
Yeah, it's
all the
terrible.
big fish.
And then they told us that plastic straws are the problem. So every time I go to a coffee shop, it sucks ass.
Here it is. Bull sharks are harvestable in Florida with a 54-inch minimum size limit and one per person per day.
Oh,
not
my
per
God.
One a
year,
day.
per day. That's how many they have of them. The world record is from Stewart, Florida, with 501 pounds, 92 inches. Yikes! The maximum size is about 13 feet, with the matures at approximately 14 to 18 years of age.
Just
Wow.
a teenager.
But
I
they're
believe
not.
that bull sharks are responsible for almost all of the different shark attacks out there.
Wow.
They like to bump and bite, meaning they bump their prey and attack it while it's trying to figure out what just hit them.
Just like you, Ian. Bump and bite.
That's a strip club strategy.
Bull shark.
They use cut stingrays for bait year-round and our heaviest rods and tackle gear. No doubt you will get a great show and a fight if you catch a bull shark.
Would you ever go bull shark
regulations for
fishing?
I'm not a fishing guy, but I wish I was into that. Like, I like all the gear they have to buy. I like
Yeah.
that when you go into like a Dick's and you see like that whole wall for
Yeah.
like, the right anglers and all that kind of the lures and all that kind of stuff. I don't know, but I'm not
But you
into
wouldn't
it.
go?
I would go, but I'm
Fishing's
not
awesome.
You
really.
wouldn't try it? Fishing's the
This
best.
is one of the things that Jamie just pointed out. One of the crazy things about bull sharks is they go into fresh water.
Oh, wow.
So they can go. They've been all the way up into Illinois. So they make no bullshit. No bullshit. They make their
Crime
way up the
statistics up
river.
there are getting crazy.
That explains it.
Even the movie Jaws was based on a freshwater attack that was on a river in New
That's
Jersey.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Near Tom's River.
They go all the way up the river into the. They can
How can they do that? Water, fresh and salt. How
because
do they
they're
do?
monsters.
Wow.
They're just designed to kill, and if they ran out of shit to kill in the salt, they ventured into the fresh.
That's amazing.
They made it all the way up into the rivers, and they started killing things.
What do they look like? The
They look like a
bullhead
shark,
sharks?
just a regular shark.
Like a great white type shark?
No,
Or are they,
it's- I thought it was
similar.
smaller than that, no?
Smaller,
Yeah.
They're smaller, but it's the same kind of look. You know,
Wow.
That's what a bull shark looks like. Yeah. See?
Oh my God.
Look at that terrifying fuckhead.
Wow.
Jesus Christ, dude.
That's like the classic look.
I mean,
That guy looks. That
do
guy
you
looks scared.
know how many there must be if they let you kill one a day?
Sure.
Do you know how many there must be?
It's great news.
Yeah, but how many people are going out specifically? Like
To
how
catch bull sharks? There's
Yeah.
videos on YouTube of guys doing it. Yeah, they have like YouTube fishing channels. For real. I subscribe to a couple.
I would love
YouTube fishing channels, and these fucking dudes go
Wicked
down
shark.
there and they catch bull sharks. Jamie, see if you can find like bull shark fishing. Warmer sea surface temperatures have led to a bull shark population increase, scientists say.
Wow.
Marine wildlife expert discusses whether people should take caution. Yeah, they're going to kill you. take a lot of fucking caution. These fuckers are dangerous.
Oh, that's it.
They're real aggressive, too. I think them and tiger sharks. But
Oh, yeah.
bull sharks, I think, are the most.
Oh,
What does it
man.
say, Jamie?
Did you want bull shark video fishing?
Yeah,
video?
bull shark fishing.
I want to see the Illinois bull shark
shark?
fishing scene.
The thing is, like, people have it in their head, like, oh, you shouldn't kill sharks. Right, but you also shouldn't let them kill people. And if you
Right.
get, like, so many fucking sharks that kill people, you got to kill the sharks.
Yeah, but it's also like we shouldn't be eating tuna and salmon with
Eat
everything
some
that we're
fucking
taking.
shark, bro. I want a shark steak, bro. You used to be able to buy it everywhere. Mako shark was like
Mako.
a
I
normal
remember
thing
that.
was on menus.
Growing up on Long Island, that was the big, the big get, a Mako.
2 bull sharks swam up to Mississippi River to St. Louis.
Wow.
Yeah.
See the arch.
What a nice little trip.
But that's how resilient they are.
It starts from 1937.
1937 sparked a fisherman's tale from 1937 sparked the researchers' interest in bull sharks upstream after 2 fishermen caught a 5-foot, 84-pound bull shark in Alton, Illinois. So that was in 1937. 58 years later, in 1995, a fisherman near Rush Island, Missouri, caught another bull shark. That's fucking
What are they
crazy.
eating? What?
Everything.
Wow.
Fucking everything. Birds, whoever's slipping.
Yes.
Whoever's slipping, bitch.
Oh, man.
Bull sharks typically live in warm water, in open salt water, but they are one of the few species that can adapt to live in freshwater environments.
Do they ever have arguments and they go after each other?
I wonder. I think they
Sharks
have no
eat
time
each
for
other,
that.
yeah. Sharks
Yeah?
do that. Yep,
I'm sure they do.
for sure.
But they kill everything else.
Battle bots of the sea.
That would be great.
Fucking monsters, man.
That's awesome.
I mean, their teeth are just rows and rows of like duplicating teeth. So when one falls out, another one replaces it.
This is so different from the stuff I look at home. Like when I'm like a koi pond. Like there's something about a koi pond. Like it calms me down. I don't
You
know what
love
it
pet
is.
videos.
Yeah.
Walter. the
Anything with
dog.
parrots. You know, I'm always
yeah,
into that.
I like that too.
Yeah.
I like this is what I was thinking of doing. Like you take like there's all these parrots that outlive their owners. So you take them and you make like a Supreme Court of parrots. They know all this ancient stuff because they're like old. But like just you put little robes on them and it's like, hey, what do you guys think about? And you say an issue and then like whatever. It's like, okay, well there you go. That's what we should do.
Parrots live super old, right?
I know, like 70 years or something.
That's crazy. So if you get one when you're 80, you're an asshole. You really are so selfish. This poor parrot, especially if you treat it well.
Yeah, but
Oh,
can you
yeah.
imagine handing a parrot down to your children in the will?
Yeah.
Like, that would suck.
That would fucking
I
suck.
think they can live to like 100 years old. I'm not sure.
Nuh-uh.
Like a tortoise. Like they have that kind of age to them. They really can live a long time. There's a few animals where like once you get them as a pet, you're there and it is for your kids.
And do they keep learning phrases?
No, I think they kind of like just know like 3 things. I don't know.
Some pets, such as tortoises and parrots, may live for over 50 years.
Okay, well, I was wrong.
Wow.
But, tortoises live like into their hundreds. So,
Provide documented plans for their pet parrots in their wills.
yeah.
Ah, there it is.
Lawyers often urge pet parents. Yeah. Lawyers. That's just lawyers weaseling in on some
I'm
of
a
that
pet parent
money.
attorney.
Yeah.
That's a leap of faith, like, because I just did a will, like, and to my parrot, I'd like you to, it's like, yeah, we're going to do that. Yeah, this parrot he can talk, but he can't, testify.
It says some species
Yeah,
live
see?
75 to 100 years.
Oh,
Wow.
my God.
Wow.
You got to go with an old-fashioned pigeon. That's like, what, 3 weeks? Like 6 weeks if he's healthy.
Do you know the pigeons were all brought over here for food?
No, I didn't know that. I thought they were from here, no?
No.
England?
No, they're an invasive species.
Wow.
I guess they were brought over from Europe. but they were a food source. That's what squab is.
Oh, it is.
Squab's pigeon.
Really?
You see squab. Yeah, all those pigeons in New York City, 100% you can shoot them and eat them, and they're good.
I wish we were allowed.
Oh,
That'd be so
good luck
fun.
to that.
You
Just
got a
in
baby
the
gun,
park.
just pink, just shoot them, and then you just put them in a bag, take them home, and pluck them.
Oh, man,
like
that's
literally,
terrible.
you could hunt wild meat in
but aren't
Central
they-
Park.
So when people go out, let's squab, is that what they're really talking about? Like pigeoning?
That's what's
that
that's
what
what
squabble
squab is.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Comes
squabble.
from?
Wow, is it from some sort of a fight with pigeons?
Easy, Webster.
Maybe. I wonder. I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, that's
That
what
kinda makes
it's
sense.
going to squab. What do you got?
Yeah, where the that's a weird word.
It
Are we
is.
squabbling? What are we squabbling about? That doesn't even sound like a fight word.
No, how can you fight
Squabble?
after hearing that?
Squabble sounds like
You want to
something
go
that
squabble?
happens to your
No.
ankle.
I squabbed on the way in.
Gotta go
Yeah,
to
well,
the
that's
doctor
a-
and get a squab.
What about squirrel? That used to be like a frontiersman. Hey, I shot some squirrel, right?
Oh yeah, people still eat squirrels.
Yeah.
They eat squirrels all throughout the South. I have friends that hunt squirrels.
Some friends of mine want to take me squirrel, raccoon, and rabbit hunting while I'm here.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's a
I
good
would
shot, by the way. He
have
really
a
is good.
Really
Yeah.
hard time killing a raccoon. I just think raccoons are so cool.
They're the cutest.
They're not just
They have little
cute,
hands.
They got little hands.
Yeah.
And they're
They
smart
have
as
little
shit.
hands. Yep.
Have you ever seen them eat like cotton candy in water and it disappears and they get so confused?
Oh, really?
Oh, it's the cutest.
That's weird.
Because how they eat, they pick up their food and then they run and eat it.
Yeah.
So they try to pick the cotton candy up and it goes away and then they're like, "What happened?" It's so cute.
I saw a raccoon
Ready?
in front of the Chelsea Hotel right next to Gotham.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
That was weird.
This is crazy. He's searching for it. I lost it somewhere.
Poor little guy.
Oh, what a dirty trick to play on a raccoon. Look at him. He's so fucking frantic.
Oh, he
yeah,
found
like
it.
someone when they lost their vape.
Set that down here. What the fuck?
Where's that bull shark? You can't escape me. I can even do a water fountain.
Comes up to the toilet. Remember, that was always a thing that snakes were going to be in the toilets in
Oh,
New York
yeah.
City.
I was thinking about that the other day.
Rats do that.
Like if a rat really like came up and went inside of me, like whose side would the EMTs be on?
Oh, here's one I always wanted to know if it's true. Alligators in the sewer.
Yeah.
Is
I
that
heard
real?
that as a kid. That was
Like
a big
people
deal.
would have pet alligators and they would release them in the sewer.
It was
Yeah.
always in video games.
There's a
Right.
movie
The
about it
turtles.
too. There's a movie like it was like a horror movie in the '80s about a gator that was living down in the sewers and like now he's like humongous and he's going to eat somebody. Yeah, so that's a cool thing. That was a great urban myth.
Yeah.
Is that it? But was it real? Did they ever find alligators in the sewers? See, they found any alligators in New York City
Yeah,
sewers.
but how would they get there?
They said that they
People
would,
throw them away. Pets.
Yeah.
That's how. Look, most of Florida is infested with pythons.
Pythons.
And a bunch of those came from people's pets.
yeah.
Not all of them. They found out. They used to think it was all pets, but then they found out that there was a research lab that got hit that was filled with pythons that got hit with
Wow.
like a hurricane or a tornado or some shit.
Sounds like a horror movie.
Yeah, and the pythons got loose.
That's a terrible death. I think.
And I
A
think
Python death.
Ooh boy! Just
mean,
getting
honestly,
swallowed
yeah.
Would you
to
rather
death
python or
and
bull shark death?
swallowed head first?
Well, python you could smoke while you're dying, whereas the bull shark you're in the water. You're already kind of like I'm fat. My man boobs are being.
Anything that happens in the water is ultimately more terrifying because
True.
you can't move good in the
True.
water. You
Dude.
can't get away.
Did you see that video of that guy jumping off the cruise ship and they videotape and he just disappears into the night?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
That was it,
some
a
like
couple
teen
years ago
was
now.
trying to impress his friends, and he jumped off into the water.
And he drowned?
Current took him away, and in the video you just see just a head bobbing and disappearing into the
Oh
darkness.
my god! What a terrible way to die.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, being an idiot, a drunk young
Yep.
kid.
You know,
Yep.
I feel sorry for
Oh god!
the comic on the cruise ship. The next day, he has to do a show. I know everybody's a little down.
If it was Tony Hinchcliffe, he'd be immediately making fun of that.
Oh, yeah, Tony.
What the fuck was wrong with that guy? I guess he can't swim. The conditions have led to the myths of several special breeds. The lack of sunlight creates a blind albino gator.
Wow.
But is it true?
So it started off as a myth, but there have been reports of not only sightings, but they have pulled a couple out. But the original reports were like there was hundreds in there a year, and I think that's a myth.
Wow.
They've pulled a couple out?
Of it, yeah. I mean, that's the.
How many did they pull out?
It started, like I said, it started off as a myth to like became truth. Like this is a nonprofit says they pulled out 5
Oh, they're just little
They
guys.
pulled out
Handled
five
Handled
alligators.
five. I don't know
They've
that they pulled
handled
them out of the
5
sewer,
gators
yeah.
in the past 2
She said
years.
That's
Number
still
from
a
the
lot.
sewer.
That's pretty good.
None
And they
from
eat
the
the rats, right?
Oh, none from sewers, it
Yeah.
says, though. So this is like people that have pets.
Yeah, like in their bathtub. That's
Bro.
such a weird pet,
Do you
like
know about
exotic.
There's a dude who lived
That guy.
somewhere. I think there was a dude who lived in Harlem
With the
Yes.
tiger?
with a tiger
Yeah.
in his apartment.
Yeah,
What?
Yeah.
crazy.
And there's a photo of it in the window.
Yep.
Like the guy, like someone's like trying to climb up the fire escape. And you see a tiger in the window.
Yeah.
That's the most
That's
insane
amazing.
thing of all time.
That's crazy.
Because someone's got to go in and deal with that thing in an apartment. Look
Yeah,
at that.
look at
Yeah.
him.
Oh,
In an
look at this.
apartment.
He's so angry.
Yeah, he's trying to fuck that guy up in an apartment,
What about the neighbors? I mean, like, honestly,
bro.
that's got to be tough.
How bad does that apartment smell?
Oh, for sure.
Because you're not going to stop that thing from pissing on the walls, right? He's going to mark wherever he wants. So
Wait, is
he's
that
gonna,
a snake next to the tiger?
This guy's into exotic
Coiled
shit.
up?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. That looks
So-
like a turtle.
That's so unfair to the tiger,
Oh,
too.
it's
no.
so rude to the tiger.
Living
but
up
so
in-
is the zoo, by
in the
way.
Bronx. What?
The zoo.
Bronx tiger.
Like, it's like, when are we going to move to Manhattan or something? You know, it's like, I'm sick of being.
We're nowhere near the park.
No, the action. There was a really good owl escaped from the Central Park Zoo, and they tried to capture him, and they couldn't. And then they said he'll just be fine. It's living out there in Central Park. He's eating rats and pigeons, and so he's like helping everything. And then he just flew into a building and died. It was sad. I felt so bad for him. It's like he
Flew
finally
into a
got out. He
building.
was like looking for a mate, and then he just like at night, because he's owls. You know, they're night people, so it's just like flew into somebody's building and killed himself. You know,
But I thought they fly good at night.
that's what I thought. I guess not. I guess he was half owl, half seagull, or
Well,
something.
birds get really confused by glass.
Oh, yeah.
That was him, Flacco. Dead. Oh, man.
Poor Flacco.
That's great.
Flacco probably thought he was going into an opening and he hit a window.
Sure.
Oh, look at him.
But yeah, he was like escaped, you know, catch and release, bail, you know, bail reform.
You ever
They
have
let
that
him
happen
out.
in your house? You ever have that happen in your house? You just hear dunk, and it's the sound of a knock on glass, and you look out and you see a bird just dead.
Oh, jeez. No.
If I hear it
happens.
thunk on my glass, I live in Brooklyn. It's just an angry teenager.
But that's like when you drive through Nebraska and like all of a sudden like weird shit starts hitting your windshield. You know, it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what is that? Is that a grasshopper? What is that?
Oh, yeah,
thing?
like
You know?
huge bugs and
Like, and
stuff.
it's just like for the amount of bug and the amount of shit that comes out of them, you're like, wow, that didn't make sense. You know, it's like a splatter.
Imagine driving through a locust storm.
Oh, that would be cool. Oh man.
Where they just flood the skies.
Oh, for God's sake.
You know, locusts and grasshoppers are the same thing.
I didn't know that.
What?
Yeah, grasshoppers like turn into locusts. It's like a specific thing that can happen to them. I don't know if it's like a population thing or
Like caterpillars into a butterfly?
no, because it's not. It doesn't always happen. Like find out like what turns grasshoppers into locusts. Holy shit! It's something really nutty.
Wait, if you can
Look
eat...
at this. Look at this locust swarm. Check this out.
Well, whatever they are, they should use whatever bathroom they want.
Gee.
Each swarm contain up to 200 million pests. How
Ouch.
about living creatures, you fucking piece of shit? They're not pests. They're
Wait,
much
so
more.
That's a grasshopper.
if...
Yeah, and they turn. So, but just Google what it is.
Can't you eat this? I mean, I
Yeah,
think grasshoppers
if you
are
can
edible.
eat grasshopper and cricket, can you eat locusts?
Yeah, for sure.
So what are we crying about?
You can eat most bugs.
Open your mouth.
You can eat a lot of bugs. Various species of short-horned grasshoppers in the family, but like they
They're
have a
so
swarming phase. So what causes them to swarm? Locusts and grasshoppers are the same in appearance, but locusts can exist in two different behavioral states. Solitary and gregarious, whereas most grasshoppers do not. When the population density is low, locusts behave as individuals, much like grasshoppers. So it's a population thing.
I thought it was mating.
Why do grasshoppers turn into locusts? The term locust is used for a grasshopper species that change morphologically and behaviorally on crowding, forming swarms developed from bands of immature stages called hoppers. The change is described as density-dependent phenotypic plasticity. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's density-dependent. So it's like it's something about the population that causes them to go fucking nutty. And so they look real different. Like look at their color changes.
Oh man,
Isn't that bizarre?
That one's tough on the top there. That's so cool with the knees back there. They got to make a drone or something like that. I mean, honestly, they look like
pretty wild.
It is
Be a
pretty
big
nuts.
Super swarm of locusts in the Illinois, Indiana, Ohio area this year.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Two, like they bury themselves or they hibernate for like 20-something years.
Oh
That's
my
a cicada,
God.
I
Oh,
thought.
yeah. Sorry. Well, I
Please,
confused them myself.
it's my big thing. The
Is it a
cicada
cicada?
bird.
Cicada, yeah, the cicada.
Oh, cicadas, they eat those too.
Every 17 years or 13 years, the cicada return. I always love that. When they
Yeah.
come out, it's just like they're annoying.
They're everywhere.
shedding their skin.
They're really loud, but they eat those too.
Wow.
I know a lot of people online have videos about how to cook cicadas.
Ew.
That's
They
the
use
whole
like
thing.
teriyaki sauce and you bake them. Apparently, they're delicious.
It's protein, right?
Trillions will be
Apparently,
present. It's
trillions.
Oh.
Trillions.
Awesome.
Since cicadas will emerge from Maryland to Oklahoma, Illinois to Alabama, clearly trillions of adult cicadas will be present, but not all in the same place at the same time. Yeah, well, I would hope not. Can you imagine? There's
Jesus.
trillions of those fat bugs.
That's crazy.
Imagine the border.
I think they're cool. They sound cool. So, but they're out every year, right? In small numbers. Is that what the deal is? And then,
Yeah, are they the ones that make the noises
Yeah.
at night?
are they? Is that the deal? Like they're out every year in small numbers, and then every.
Here's it's called a brood. So
Yeah.
like there's different sizes of them that
Wow. those
come out
fuckers.
or emerge every year, I guess is what it's called.
This is what the World Economic Forum wants us to eat. You
at
will
that.
eat bugs and you'll be happy. But the
and
thing
have
is,
nothing.
you need to know that you can eat them.
You can eat 'em.
They're very edible. And my friend Ryan Callahan, he had like a recipe for cooking them. He talked about like just take them, put them on a sheet, use teriyaki sauce, like a teriyaki glaze, cook them. Apparently they're delicious.
You
I would
stir fry
try it,
them, right?
but I don't know if I'd.
I ate them, and I ate grasshoppers in Mexico.
Really?
Was it crickets? Might have been crickets.
Do they like deep fry them? Or how do they
fry
cook?
them somehow.
Like
I don't
pan
know.
sear them?
Something like that. I don't know, but they had a bowl of them in the room. I think it was crickets. And I was like, first of all, that's weird because like crickets are the only bug that I don't kill. Like if I find a cricket, I catch them with my hand and bring them outside.
Really?
Yeah, if I find a spider, you're fucked.
Really?
Spiders are fucked.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll kill you. You
Yeah,
bite
that
me.
looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Once you cook it up.
They call it chapulines. That's how you say it?
I would do that.
Dried and roasted grasshoppers, a pre-Hispanic Mexican delicacy. They're small, most are shorter than the length of an adult pinky, and nutty in flavor. The cooking process can add additional flavors such as lemon, garlic, and chili.
I thought it was
So-
Southeast Asia or something where they.
So
Yeah.
maybe it's grasshoppers, and I thought it was crickets. It looks like that. Either way,
I could see
grasshoppers I
that.
don't kill either.
What about like? Are you like an adventure food guy or no?
Yeah, I'll try some different stuff.
You know the thing in the Philippines where it's like an egg, but like it's like the fetus is already like it's not like a.
Balut.
Yeah, have you had that?
Yeah, we used to serve that on Fear Factor.
Oh,
and my
jeez.
Filipino friends are like, "Get the fuck out of here! I eat that easy." Like, what are they scared to eat that
It's
for?
terrifying
Wait,
looking.
what is it?
It's basically
like a baby bird.
fertilized embryo of. It's a duck. Is that what it is?
I
Or is
have
it a
no idea what it
chicken?
is. It
And
looks
so you
disgusting.
eat the egg and the embryo is.
yeah,
developed?
Yeah, see, there's like a
Yeah.
thing in there.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
So people eat the whole thing. They eat the little baby. They eat the yolk. They eat everything.
That to me is
Yeah.
like too much.
It's rough.
Yeah, it's
You
got to
get-
be.
You're getting beaks in there.
Oh,
you're getting
God.
fucking-
I'm such a baby with food.
You get
I'm like,
feet,
"Ugh."
beaks. Yeah. I don't remember if I tried that. I don't think I did.
That sounds like a really good treat for like a dog. Like, hey, look, there's an egg and like a bird in there. You know, like here you go, buddy.
I ate so many things on Fear Factor, I kind of forgot all the stuff I ate. I don't think I ate one of those.
Snake, of course, right?
though. But no, I never ate snake.
Really?
Would you
No.
eat everything that they ate
No,
to
I
be like,
did.
I ate it, it's fine?
I would do it if I thought someone really needed to know that you can do it, and then I'll do it for no reason. I'll do it for no reason. I can't even win just to show you that you could do it. Like you can do this. You just do
Wow.
it. Just decide you're going to do it and do it.
It's so paternal.
Well, it's just like coaching.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to help these people.
Yeah.
Isn't that's a weird moment, being on TV trying to eat a dick.
What's the side? You know, it's like, and can I get some fries with that dick? You know, it's like,
fried pubes. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think it was cool that, in New York, there's always like the new restaurant, the new hot thing to eat and stuff like that. I'm never into that. I'm not a food guy like that. You're into everything, right?
I'll try anything, but I definitely in my comforts that I go back to.
Yeah, man, it's just so hard. That's why Austin's so good. They got great food here, pretty much from beginning. You know, like
Those
a morning
food
to
trucks are the
date,
best.
till night.
There's so many good food trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of great options, and there's a lot of just there's a lot of cool shit to do here. It's not overwhelmed. It's like a perfect size.
And what's the? I was gonna say. We're doing the club, right? And that 6th Street, has it settled down, or is it still like popping the way it is?
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's a crazy. That end of it too is kind of the craziest end.
Yeah, it is.
It's fucking wild.
We're in the heart of it.
When you're old and you walk down that street, it's a whole different experience. Nobody gets it. Like when you're an old person with like a mortgage and you're walking down the street, you just see all that. The only place I think almost as equal is San Diego, like that street where the American Comedy Club is, because there's just nothing but like drunks, fights,
Right.
just squad cars coming from every direction all the time for like 2 hours. Then it's like quiet again. But it's just like this amazing kind of like, like almost like somebody said, like, rung a bell. It's like, be nuts. You know,
it's
and
like a
people go
weird
crazy.
purge for a couple hours.
A purge, yeah.
The purge.
Yeah.
It
That's
is
what it
like
feels
that,
like.
A bunch of
unfortunately.
barefoot drunk women.
God, so crazy.
But yeah, that street, man, is so
It's
much
very
stuff going on.
overwhelming.
But that's a good place for comedy, both in San Diego and here. It's like
Sure.
to be around that chaos and then come inside, you're a little like more used to chaos. A little more used to like some nuttiness.
Bring some pop.
You know?
Brings
Yeah,
it
you're out
poppin'.
there waiting in line, and there's
You're
fucking
seeing some shit,
crackheads
yeah.
everywhere. We have security out there to protect them.
Yeah.
Like it's like
Yeah.
it's a sketchy fucking.
That's like
street.
the cellar now in the West Village. Like these people line up to go see a comedy show, and then there's just people accosting them for money and singing songs in their face, and then they come in like, "What the fuck just happened?"
Do you feel a noticeable change in the city
Yes.
with the immigrant thing?
Oh,
It depends what part of the city you're in,
Yeah.
but definitely around like the Port Authority, Midtown, you'll definitely see more
Times
of,
Square, yeah.
that kind of activity.
And that's
going on.
over how much time?
I'd say the last 6 months, 3 months, something
So
like that.
where do you think this goes in 6 years?
nowhere good.
Is it Delhi?
Is it? I really don't know, but there is like there definitely is like a mood in that part of town,
Yeah.
and it's everywhere, by the way. But that's where I see it the most. Where I'm like, whoa, look at like the bus station here, like just outside. It's just
There's
basically
never been more mango and candy being sold on the streets.
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
which is
Well,
pretty
I'm a
good.
fan of both mango
shaved
and candy.
ice. It's so much easier to get.
Yeah, but can you imagine being like 19 and living, in a terrible place, and you're just so poor, and you're like, wait, I get to go to a place where I get away with crimes with my boys? Let's go. And you're just like a group of
They
lost
just
boys.
let you right out of jail when you beat up a cop
yeah,
on
yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
But we are such suckers. We're such suckers as a nation to let this happen. It's so dumb. It's the dumbest fucking thing. It's happening right in front of everybody's face. What do we do? What do we do? And none of our elected leaders are doing anything to stop it.
Yeah, but weren't they shipping them to like Martha's Vineyard and stuff?
Oh,
Did that do anything?
Well, that was Texas. That's
Yeah.
our guy. Our guy's awesome.
Yeah.
He ships them. He's like, okay, you guys you don't want to deal with it? You want to let these people in? You
Yeah.
want sanctuary cities? Good. We'll send them to the sanctuary cities. So just start busing people to New York.
Yeah.
Our guy is responsible for what's happening and a lot of what's happening in New York. That's how they got up there.
Yeah,
Well, but
thanks.
now the government's flying them places. They're flying them to different cities. You can ask where you want to go. They give you money. They give you a cell phone. And the thing that's really freaking people out, especially people in poor cities in this country, is like, where's that fucking help for us?
Yeah.
You got these people housed in the Roosevelt. You give them free meals a day.
Sure.
Plus you give them money.
And they can
Income.
masturbate wherever they want. It's amazing.
That's
Is
true.
that real?
Yeah.
Anywhere they want?
And for a long
yeah.
time,
Is that a
for a
rule?
long time,
It's happening a lot.
for a long time, especially in New York, they would look at you guys down here and go like, what do you, and then they finally got to experience it. And it's probably, what we experience is probably just like 1/10 of what you guys have to do being right on the border. So,
Well, we're not on the border, but
I'm saying like Texas.
but
So
if you're down south, if you're like way down there,
a border town.
yeah, if you're in Juarez, like right outside of Juarez, if you're you're real close. I mean,
Yeah.
it's coming over
Yeah.
and it's affecting you.
Well, it's a little wild because I don't see many kids. There's
Yeah.
not many families coming over.
Well, here's the thing, though. For real, it's very dangerous to bring your kids through a fucking migrant stream that's walking into Mexico.
So are they
And a lot
coming
of them
here
are-
to work and then send money
yeah,
back? Mm-hmm.
There's definitely that. But also military-aged men from other countries,
Sure.
including Middle Eastern countries, including China. It's like that's real too. And it doesn't mean that you're not compassionate for the people that are doing exactly what I would do if I was living in Ecuador and I didn't have any money and there was no job opportunities and I knew that I could get into America and I'd get a job, and if I busted my ass, I can make it, and they would accept me, and not only accept me but help me and give me money. And you hear from your friends, bro, every time you go across the border, they'll give you $2,200. So there's guys on the radio, in Spanish-speaking radio in San Diego, telling guys how they went back and forth 4 times in a month.
Yeah. And then
they got $8,000 in a month.
Jesus.
Yeah. So they're living nice just by crossing back and forth and just continuing to do it.
Well, did you read the story about the guy, I think he's from Venezuela?
I got to make a move.
He's telling people how to get over the border and then squat in houses, and like how you'll just get like, it's like they won't throw you out of their house. It's not like where we're from. You can just get in the house and then you can stay there.
In Queens.
Yeah.
Well, the lady got arrested for changing the
arrested.
locks on her own home. And
that to me is crazy.
They're
the
also
squatting.
saying in New York, if you're in a house for 30 days, you legally become a tenant.
Yep.
That's
If
right.
you get mail sent to the place in your name, it's yours.
That is bananas.
That is crazy.
Dude, I love this story. I think it happened in like Seattle or Portland or something. This guy was at every march and rally, and he was like big Antifa and communism. And he met someone there, and the guy was like, "Hey, can I crash with you?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, sure." So he brought him and his girlfriend and stayed on the couch. And after 2 weeks, the guy wouldn't let the homeowner into his own house, and he had to call the police, which is like against their religion. And they were like, "We don't know what to tell you."
Holy shit.
Yeah. Isn't that the best?
Oh my God, that's hilarious. That's amazing.
I was talking to friends of mine. There's like over 1,000 squatter situations in Atlanta, and they're like, "Well, it's only 1,000. The population is this big. It doesn't really matter." I'm like, dude, 10 people doing it is alarming.
Yeah, 1,000 is crazy.
Yeah.
That means they know how to do it. They know the loophole.
Yes.
And you need to tighten that loophole up, you fuckheads.
People are so smart. They know how to jock the system.
100%, especially criminals and
Yeah.
fraudsters, which is the type of person who's got, I mean, you imagine they're filming them. This is my house.
Yeah.
They're filming me.
Yeah.
And like, I don't give a fuck, dude. This is where I live now. And they know that you have to pay them to get out. And that's what a lot of homeowners do. But the problem is that another person is just going to jump in.
Well, and the eviction process is so long, and you have to hire a lawyer. You have to go to court. And then
It's
that
all on
takes
the
a while.
homeowner.
And good luck trying to sell the place, because if you're not there in the house, they'll just squat.
But they always hold up like a dirty piece of paper. I have a lease, and it's just like a happy face and a house behind it. Yeah.
This guy was explaining how he did it. In this YouTube video. He's saying that you get a fake lease. So you draft up a fake lease. You use that lease to get the power, and things turn in your name. You pay the bill. Like, there's a bunch of different steps that you can do that just seems to indicate that you are the legal resident, and then they have to take you to court. And it could be months and months
Years.
before you even get a trial.
Then where do they stay, the homeowners?
They're fucked.
In a migrant
They're
hotel?
fucked. It's so crazy that in the name of protecting tenants, which is important, you don't want a shitty landlord. You want to protect tenants. But in the name of protecting tenants, you're basically allowing people to steal people's houses.
For sure.
And not just one. If Atlanta has 1,000, what is the number of people that are squatting currently, Jamie, in the United States?
I don't know how you would know that.
Well, try Google.
I mean,
Well, they
try
just did the
Googling that.
census.
Why don't you ask ChatGPT? Ooh.
It's not only that they're squatting.
scary.
Let's see what that bitch says.
You see how they abuse the house too. Like they'll like smear shit on the walls. They'll do all kinds of things. in there
Lenny
'cause-
Dykstra did
so
that.
I'm like, you really
in
own
Wayne
this
Gretzky's mansion.
because America business in that's 2010.
Well,
And I
Yeah,
think
but they-
Lenny Dykstra did it, and it was his mansion.
Yeah, and they were like evicting him, and he's like, "All right, well, I'm going to take a shit on the floor."
Is that what he did?
yeah.
And then didn't Gretzky buy the house?
He bought it from Gretzky.
Oh,
it was
he
Gretzky's
bought it from
house.
Gretzky,
Yeah.
and then he shit all over it when they were taking it away from him.
Fuck you.
not cool.
That's a different story, though. He wasn't a squatter.
Yeah.
He just went broke.
Yeah.
That's like when you go to a friend's house, you have a party, and like that last guy who has nowhere to go, he's like, "Hey, man, we can." it's like this is a different level, Your Honor.
Bro, the guys you can't get out of your parties are the worst.
yeah,
That's the main reason why people don't want to have parties.
I don't know. Not for
The
me.
one guy who won't leave.
yeah, gotta get up early, man. That's all right.
I can barely get people to leave my podcast studio.
Especially when they get a little drunk and they just don't get the hints.
Yeah,
And you're like, you are drunk, you must leave.
lights out.
What? What are you doing, man? Are you fucking tripping, bro?
Yeah, I was that
Like,
guy.
It's 5 a.m.
Yeah. I would just curl up on their welcome mat like a cat. Wake up the next day.
That's what happened with that guy. He had that the Kansas City Chief party, and then the guys go outside. They're like, "Dude, can't we just hang a little bit longer? You know, maybe it'll warm up." He's like, "No, you got to go." And then they all like did popsicles outside.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. Like,
Wow.
how many of them died?
Like it was like 4 of them, I think.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Like they found the bodies like right outside. You know, but it was
Imagine
really
being such a bad hang that you end up freezing to death at
Wasn't
the
there
party.
like some controversy to that story? Like
they don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, the story seems fishy.
There's something with it might have been drugs. It might have just been like they died somewhere else and he put them out there. You know.
Well,
who
I think
knows?
there was some controversy with the guy who called it in. Like he didn't do it quick enough. Or I forget what it was.
They
But
were
that
high,
people
though.
started getting suspicious.
They were very high though. They were
On
very
what?
You know, they were drunk and they were just doing powder. I bet something like that.
Maybe
you know?
oxys.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they just fell asleep outside.
That's just
okay. What does
really-
ChatGPT say?
have a number.
As of my last update in January 2022, I don't have access to most recent statistics on the number of people squatting in houses in the U.S. Squatting is often a complex and underreported issue.
That's a government.
Obtaining an accurate data can be challenging due to its illegal and unauthorized nature. You may need to consult recent studies, reports, or data from relevant
we were doing with
organizations
you,
or
bitch.
government agencies. For the well, this is ChatGPT 4. ChatGPT 5, it would be like, I know how to get them out.
Here's your plan.
You fucking send a robot.
When I don't know the full thing in Atlanta, but the first article I pulled up said it was,
1,200 homes.
Yeah.
they're
I was off.
institutional investors. I don't know like how many of them are people buying houses and never living in them, and there's just vacant houses everywhere. You know,
What?
like Airbnbs type things. There's a bunch of Airbnbs, that kind of situations going on right now, where a bunch of
So they like move into the Airbnb and they just stay?
it could be.
I know that there are definitely people doing that because this lady videotaped this woman who wouldn't leave her place. She's like, I'm not going nowhere.
And you have to
she's
keep
like,
the
you
lights.
See this bitch? This bitch is in my fucking house and she's
yeah, but
cooking
can't you
in my
just
fucking kitchen.
beat the shit out of them and then just know you'll be out the next day?
The
and
problem
then
is
they'll
it's already everyone's aware that this is an issue already by then. So now they've got their eye on you, and you can't really just say this person is in my kitchen. They attacked me. You'd have to fight to the death.
You have to keep the lights and the heat, all that on as the homeowner. Because if you shut it off, that's like a big red
Yeah.
flag. That like you're not allowed to do that.
What's
They
it?
might not even be allowed to be in the home.
I think a lot of this came in New York City from the Till
Idiots.
program, and in the 70s with all the houses and buildings just being completely abandoned and turned to shit. And
Yeah.
a lot of people were squatting
That's right.
because they were like homeless. So they were like, all right, well, we have to figure this out so that we don't have all these people on the street.
You know
And
Tompkins
then they
Square
just didn't change it. Yeah.
in the '80s. I remember they back. I guess that was like a Giuliani thing actually, where they were like, we got these squatters in these buildings and we want them out. Like in order to repurpose the building, they had to get all these people that had already set up power and all kinds of stuff to the buildings. So the cops would go in, and then you would just see like a rush of like skinhead looking dudes come flying out through the park, and they would like
It was
tussle
like
with
old
the
punk
cops.
rockers.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And it was just like they were squatters. They were like street kids that were living in these buildings. So.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did they go?
But that's when some of the best music came out in New York City. They were all musicians
Early 80s.
squatting together. Yeah.
Probably, right?
Yeah, totally. Agnostic Front and, Bad Brains and everything, they were all squatting. Cro-Mags.
Makes you legit.
Yeah.
Well, as a homeowner, that's one of my biggest fears. Squatting. I'm on the road. I come back.
Someone's in
Someone's in my house.
Hello,
Oh,
David.
If it's New York, some lady just, they think this lady got murdered because she went into
Yep.
a house that was her house to clean it up, and there were squatters living in there, and then they fucking killed her and put her in a bag.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yeah.
The cutting them up, that's the thing.
And then there's, then the problem is like, good luck catching them. They're just there's no paperwork on these people. They're just wandering around the city. Squatters suspected of killing woman in New York City apartment, stuffing her body into duffel bag. Yeah. Victims found squatter in mother's vacant apartment.
what a
According to
horrible way
public
to
sources, Attell was killed after she traveled to New York City from Spain to get the apartment ready to be occupied by a family friend. It had been vacant for months after the death of her mother. Police sources say Attell didn't know when she went to the apartment that 2 squatters had been living there. When she arrived, she could be seen on surveillance video coming and going from the apartment. Police believe the 2 squatters returned to the apartment after Attell arrived, surprised, and killed her by beating her to death.
How do these squatters
Jesus
are they on
Christ,
Zillow?
man.
Like, what the fuck are they doing to find these
They
old
just get a report
places?
from someone. Someone figures out that there's an apartment that's empty. You know?
Jeez.
Jesus
Oh my
Christ.
God. Wow, what a
Do they
horrible
have the
death.
two suspects? Two suspects went to used car dealers after the crash looking to buy a car. They remain at large.
Jesus
So they beat her to death, and they're at large. Video stealing her Lexus from the street
Wow.
out front and fleeing. The car, sources said, was later involved in an accident in Pennsylvania.
Well, they'll get them when they have to charge. When they charge the Lexus.
That's not they don't make electric cars.
Oh, sorry.
Lexus is Japanese. It's Toyota.
Oh,
Toyota
sorry.
believes in hybrids.
Oh.
Toyota has a different strategy for EVs.
Can
They
you
believe
be?
in hybrids.
Can you imagine being a vicious murderer and getting away in a Prius?
Yeah, that's the car you want to take. People wouldn't, unless you have too many stickers on the back. They're like, you're probably violent.
Just a bunch of coexist
Yeah,
stickers.
then you're violent. You're probably violent. You're probably really aggressive about your insistence that everyone coexist.
Wow.
Did you guys see that video that Edward Snowden posted that shows Israel bombing these kids?
No.
They're just walking in Gaza.
Where?
It's horrible, dude. It's horrible because they're clearly not armed. And
Snowden-
They're just walking.
Snowden.
Edward Snowden put it on his Twitter, and it's these young men are just walking down the street, and they. Yeah.
He's still in Russia, right?
Yeah, he has to hide in Russia. So these guys are just walking down the street, and they're clearly not armed. This is like after the bombings and everything. These people are probably going back to see if their house is there. Who knows what the fuck they're doing, right?
What if they thought they were squatters?
Look
and
at
they
this.
were?
Whoa.
Look
That's
at
a
this.
hit.
Look how quick it happens.
Boom.
So that guy in the front is running away. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, shit. I got to get the fuck out of here. And so they zoom in on him.
Stop running.
Yeah,
They got
watch
him too?
this. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's fucking
And bro, the way they
horrible.
do it, I mean, there's nothing left of you. They're literally targeting you with a missile. And
Yeah,
you just disappear. Look at that.
Is it a missile or is it
a
a
missile.
drone?
Well, it's a missile coming from
From
a
a drone.
Probably.
Or
I mean, it might be coming from somewhere else.
Yeah, like
I
a
don't
plane.
know where.
You know,
I believe it's a drone, though. Isn't that what the contention is?
Pretty sure.
wow.
Yeah, so they have drones that can do this, which is so insane, dude. And they're not showing you the bodies because it's just a bloody mess.
Well, you know what's so creepy? Have you seen those drone videos in Ukraine and Russia? And it's really good quality. And then they dropped a little bomb on the guys, and then they put like Russian techno music over it.
Yeah.
And like it's so creepy.
It's so creepy.
You just see guys hanging out.
And then they just explode. Yeah.
Well, that's what they say now is that they can see everything at all times. So it's really hard to like use like tactics where like we'll sneak up on them on the and then
Yeah.
we'll go this way. They can't do that anymore. It's like those kind of tactics are old now. They
Yeah, but
can't
what
do
do you
that.
Satellites
do?
are everywhere.
If you-
Satellites are everywhere.
Satellite-
Drones are everywhere. They have silent drones.
If you see a drone coming,
See-
are you just like, why accept
See these guys,
death?
Look at this.
These guys think this tarp will help them.
Oh,
Put a
the
tarp
leg.
up.
What's that?
You got just trying to zoom ahead here for the.
Oh, so he'd already been shot?
There's the.
Oh, here it is. Oh, my God, dude.
It's pretty amazing how
What a
they figured that
horrible
out.
way to go. Just drop a bomb from a fucking drone and cook everybody.
You should be able to hear it, right? If it's a civilian drone, because they make that loud, like that buzz, and then it's like
Can you
maybe
shoot it down?
100 feet. Yeah, they have it shoot it down. They also have that like EMT blast on it, where they can basically take control of or stop the signal, and it'll just land.
It's like a perk in Call of Duty. It's insane.
Yeah, but I'm sure they probably have ones that avoid that stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just keep getting these things better. How silent are the drones now? Oh, did you hear about the drones that were hovering over the base that they think are from China? And they had been hovering over there for weeks.
I didn't read that one, but yeah, I heard it's.
They've
it's-
updated the balloons.
It's whatchamacallit. What base was that again? Do you know?
I'll find it. I've got the story. Somebody sent it to me. I saved it. But it's a scary story because it says for weeks.
Man, I hate to jinx it, but it's just like, these things you can just buy, and that the fact that luckily no people in this country have used it like like the way they're using it, we're really lucky. I mean, honestly, think about all the situations.
Are we
you know?
lucky, or is it just a matter of time?
Well, evidently,
I just
whatever
had a
they're
teacher.
doing is like, just think of like New Year's Eve,
Yeah.
all those different like gatherings,
yeah.
a game, it could
Hey,
be even
Dave,
like a
how
high
about
school.
Stop giving the enemy ideas.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
I'm trying to connect to our, what we call it, your,
terrorist
your
base.
first responder fan base, your contractors and whatnot. But I'm sure that's a big, keeps them up at night thinking about that stuff,
Dude, that fucking video is horrible. All those videos are horrible.
Horrific.
The video of those guys in Gaza is horrible.
We can go back to sharks.
How about I was going to say the Ukrainians have those drones now that take out the ships, the sea babies, they call them.
Look at this.
Which is just,
Mysterious drones swarmed Langley Air Force Base for weeks. For weeks. The unidentified drones were such an issue that assets were called in from around the government, including NASA, WB-57 high-altitude jet.
wow.
So what does it say these things look like?
Yeah. A dragon.
The Chinese dragon drone. That would be a dope way for China to really flex. Make a drone that looks like a dragon. Does it say what the description of these things were?
That's the F-35.
That's what I think a lot of this alien shit is.
Yeah,
think a
that's
lot
what they're
of
saying
it's-
now, too.
A lot of it, I think, is drone technology that we
They won't admit to.
we
but
don't know that
it's
they
out
have.
there.
Yeah. To protect operational security, we do not discuss impacts to operations. The statement said, we don't discuss our specific force protection measures, but retain the right to protect and the installation. Langley continues to monitor our airspace and work with local law enforcement and other federal agencies to ensure the safety of base personnel, facilities,
Crazy.
and assets. Does it
So
say...
it says here that a UAS, uncrewed aerial system, a number of UASs fluctuated and they ranged in size and configuration. None of the incursions appeared to exhibit hostile intent.
But anything flying in our restricted airspace can pose a threat to flight safety. Interesting.
Uncrewed aerial system.
It could also test the reaction time,
It's like a drone.
Yeah, it must be. It must be a drone because that means they're not saying it's a UAP. They
Those
think
are
it's
ours.
a drone.
Just drones. Everything's
What is the most sophisticated drone currently available? But Google most sophisticated nuclear or most sophisticated military drone.
that we know of, I guess.
Yeah, just Google that term. Most sophisticated military drone.
A picture of Obama pops up.
They have the ones that are like little fighters now. They're like able to do turns that no human could take.
Do they have little ones that buzz and have like machine guns on them?
Look at this one.
Well, that one's, that's a spy. That's
That
cool.
one's-
That
that
can
one's
fly for
fucking dope.
days.
Okay, so here we got Dassault Neuron.
That is cool.
Look at these fucking things.
With the propeller in the back.
Wow. They must be loud as shit, though, no?
They have a power plant in them.
What?
Well, I guess it's an engine. I guess is means
Rolls Royce engine.
Yeah,
Shout out to Rolls.
turbocharged piston engine. That'd be loud, right? A
Turbocharged piston engine. Yeah, that'd be loud. 450 horsepower. That's pretty fast for that little thing.
It is cool.
Yeah.
You see the ones with Ukraine with the boats where they're like taking out the Russian Navy? That is pretty cool how they did that.
Whoa, look at that thing. Look at the size
That's
of that.
huge.
Holy shit, I didn't know they were that big.
Look at that.
Wow. That's a crazy
That's a
flying robot
ramjet.
that can murder you. How nutty is that?
That's one of those things where it just like flies over. It's like every phone call, like immediately saps it up.
But which one of these have missiles?
So
So
it-
some of these must be just spies.
That one does.
right?
Yeah, those
That
are
one
the
has
Hellfires.
missiles.
I think then you have to make it so it can have missiles. I think they can probably do that to almost any of them.
Look at the little one though, guys has in his hand. Can I play too? I'm just annoying.
Yeah, I guess they wouldn't make one that couldn't shoot a missile,
The
right?
little
Why
one
would
just
they?
collects gossip. Guess who's fucking?
Look at that. The missiles just sit. Go back to that picture you just showed. The one you just showed with the missiles in the bottom of it.
Yeah, that's the classic.
That's pretty wild. God damn. Look
Awesome.
So it's got 2 missiles, and what are those 2 things beside the missiles?
Bombs.
Also rocket missiles. Those are these different kinds.
Wow.
These can probably go really far.
They might be guns.
Might be defensive.
Maybe. Right, to shut, like, flares and shit.
Air to ground.
Because they do that when someone's shooting a missile at them. They'll shoot off a flare to detract the heat-seeking missile.
And then these are just the ones we know about because there's got to be some shit. We don't
Oh,
have pictures
yeah,
of.
for sure. Again, that's what I think a lot of that stuff is that people are reporting. These,
You think?
yeah, that's what I think. I think a lot of these things that people are seeing that they think are UFO is just some super sophisticated propulsion system that
Some
the
of them
government's
are
keeping.
really creepy though, like the way they hover around or fly around, like the one they showed, like 1 or 2 from in the Middle East. Just like it did look like it was either a UFO or a monster or some kind of like. There's one that looks like a jellyfish, but it's flying around. It's got like stuff hanging off of it.
Yeah.
Like what is that? You know,
That one's very weird because that one goes in the ocean too.
that one. That one's scary.
It goes into the ocean and then comes back
Remember,
out.
I told you last time I looked something up like this. This thing came out in
That is so
2014.
cool.
It says it's a drone
And it goes underwater.
and it goes underwater, but I couldn't find anywhere that this thing was being sold. It was like had like a Kickstarter type program.
Oh, neat.
Like 10 years ago. And
Right,
One
but
eye.
here's the problem with this. Even like pretending that that's real. What's the propulsion system?
It may have not ever been real, and people were
No,
questioning that.
I don't think it's real. I think it's a basketball.
It could be.
I think it is. I really do. Like, look at how the bottom where it's screwed
Oh,
down.
yeah.
I think that's like a volleyball or a basketball or something.
yeah,
I
it
think
could
that's
have been
totally
bullshit,
fake. I
but-
think it's because there's no method of propulsion. Like you can't just have a basketball that flies. Liquid gravity
one's in-
engine. Shut the
It
fuck
says
up.
sphere shaped, no outside propellers or moving parts, but then it doesn't say how it
That's
flies.
Look at the golf ball.
I don't. And there's no video
Yeah,
of it. either.
exactly. They use a golf ball as one of them. Shut the fuck up. That thing's fake as fuck.
It's got one
There's
eye.
no, you have to have You have to have an exhaust. Every fucking propulsion system that we know of right now has to have either a fan, you got to have a propeller, or you have to have an engine that shoots stuff out the back and makes you go forward. That's it. So these things that people keep seeing that don't operate like that, that's what makes me think the government has something that doesn't need a traditional combustion engine for a propulsion system.
They're not going to have it on Google.
Yeah, they're not going
Right.
to tell you. They're not going to tell you shit.
Yeah.
They don't have to tell you shit. I wouldn't tell them. I wouldn't tell the whole world what we could do. Get the fuck out of here. I
Yeah.
just make it better every year to the point where it's basically a UFO. And if you just think about the unlimited amount of money that they've had, and they've been designing military vehicles and jet engines and they've been doing that for decades.
Yeah.
All that time making one thing that no one knows about better and better and better and better, flying around Area 51. I bet there's a lot of those that people are seeing that they're like, oh my God, they were real. And they're like out
And
there
then
in the
they're
desert
just
trying to
like,
communicate.
yeah, aliens are real,
Yeah.
but it's just us testing.
And also, I think aliens are real. I think both
I do
things.
too.
Yeah.
In what way?
I'm hoping they are. I really am hoping they are real. I really do.
He changes tune quick.
No, I didn't ever say like I didn't believe it. I think the things he was just talking about, I'm like, some of them are secret projects, some of them are aliens. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
That there is definitely another presence here, like in this world or whatever it is, you know?
Yeah.
And that there has to be something to explain a lot of these sightings, which are not explainable. So you know?
It's real likely that both things are true. Because it just doesn't make any sense with the universe as big as it is that there's no one else out there. And if they do develop the ability to go way past where we are,
Yeah.
they should be able to be invisible. That should be easy.
True.
They should be able to come here anytime they want. That should be easy. If you look at a species like ours, like that's this intelligent as the human species, if we got 1 million years more advanced, 1 million years more advanced, who the fuck knows what we can do? We're gonna be weird in 5 years from now. 5 years from now with AI, things are gonna be off the charts
Yeah.
weird. So imagine that just keeps going for 1 million years, which is really possible. I mean, crocodiles have been around for fucking 65 million years or whatever.
Yeah.
It's totally possible.
Well, do you remember that cab driver in Vegas that told us
Yeah. This guy's very UFO.
What did he
He's
tell
got
you?
a lot of UFO stories, this guy.
he told it what was the portal? One of the casinos was a portal for aliens.
Oh, it's got to be
He
certain.
said there's a secret railway under like the MGM Grand, and that's where aliens are coming from, Area 51.
Yeah.
It's like I'd never even heard of this theory, and he was like, "No, it's true."
Yeah.
Oh,
and,
that's hilarious.
And yeah, he had a lot
He's
of.
like, there's no way 250 humans at one time would want to go to a casino.
Yeah, that was his
wait,
joke at the
are
end.
you joking? Yeah.
I don't know if he was driving us or driving away from his ex-wife, but we were driving for a long time.
If I was going to be an alien, I want to abduct some people, though. I think Vegas would be a good spot.
No
to
one
get
would
them.
miss him.
Yeah.
Not only that, they'd be so confused. Like, I don't know what. I think someone spiked my drink. All of a sudden, I was
Yeah.
on an alien spaceship.
And in Vegas, everything goes. Like, there's always like a new thing to do. So that would definitely become like like the
Trying to
sphere,
get
you know?
abducted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or imagine if there was like an abduction program, like you could actually get abducted. And instead of like abducting us and just ruining people's lives, what if we made a deal with the UFOs? Hey, listen, you guys got it all wrong. We're willing to get abducted.
Yeah.
You can take us on board and do
Test
experiments
us.
on
Yeah.
people. We don't care. We're totally willing to be your guinea pig.
Oh, influencers would try to do that. In a heartbeat.
100%.
In a heartbeat.
Live streaming while
Oh,
you're
yeah.
getting your anal probe. Look.
Yeah. It's worth it.
Yeah, if they really wanted to come and abduct us, we would be more than willing to let them. You don't really have to force us.
What if the aliens is technology in terms of how advanced it's gotten in such a short period of time, and then the people using it are just basically drones that are using this exposed technology?
Well, it's possible that that's the future of life. The future of life is we integrate with technology, and that's the only way. Because like the biological evolutionary process is really slow, but the technological evolutionary process is really fast, like crazy fast. Like you can have a whole new thing in a year, whereas like a whole new species, like God, how does that even happen? You know, how does that even happen? And then like when species are hybrids, they're not viable. So like some of them are and some of them aren't. And it's like, what? How long does it take to make a human out of a monkey? How long does it take to make a monkey out of an amoeba? It's too long. They don't have that time. It's too long. That's too long.
gotta speed
But
this up.
if you can integrate with technology, then you have an insane ability to adapt. And then probably you just stop being a person. Probably will realize that
Well, I think
once
that's already out there. People stop being people.
Well, you can't
it's a
send
little bit. We have a little bit, right?
Yeah.
You know the whole send people to Mars. Like I was looking at like how long it takes to get anywhere. Like it takes about 6 days, 3 days to get to the moon, which is doable. That's why the moon is the way to go. Mars is like 9 months to a year. But then the other planets, let's say we're like in a whatever at our current like ability to like travel, like Jupiter, 25 years, and there's really nothing there except for that Io moon, whatever that is. I hope I'm not saying it wrong, but like the fact that like we're not built for outer space, and yet we keep craving this whole thing, when you're right, it should be some kind of techno hybrid of a human, something that would be able to do that, you know?
Yeah, and it'll probably, if you become a machine
Yeah.
instead of a person, you don't have to worry about being crushed by gravity because you'll have a carbon fiber hull, and all your orgasms will happen from an app, and then you'll
I
be able
volunteer.
Radiation, all that stuff because space is a killer, you know? It's like, it's
but
not built
if
for
you're
carbon
that
people.
thing and you're taking 25 years to get to Jupiter, will the technology exist to make you not be bored? Like, what are you going to do for 25 years?
They should put you to
You're going to be
sleep.
playing video games the entire flight. It's going to be amazing.
They've been
Do you know how
preparing
quick
us for years.
6 months of video games would go by on your trip to Mars? It'd be so quick. You just have a local area network set up, and you and the other astronauts just fucking geeking out all day. Oh shit! They're coming for you. Guard your flank. Guard your flank. Ah! You fucking just drinking Mountain Dew and
Yeah.
smiling.
Yeah.
If you knew that you didn't have any responsibilities other than playing video games, you know how quick 6 months could go by.
That sounds like hell, though.
You know,
Wife
not
would
for
have got
me.
all the games. All the games.
I mean, don't you want to get up and move around?
Maybe not.
Is there
Maybe
a-
if you just put that fucking Mark Zuckerberg headset on, you can pretend you're moving around.
Is there a dick sucking robot that I could
Oh,
use?
definitely. It's that.
Okay, I'm in.
That's coming. That's probably already here. Probably they already have that in China. They're probably testing it out right now.
The what is it called again? It's a
Sexbot?
fembot or something.
Which
That was
one's
from
that?
Austin
It's a
Powers.
sex doll, but it's whatever. You have to. I don't know.
Those are coming.
Yeah.
Those are coming.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that robot that like cooks and like sets up your kitchen for you? The robot like puts plates away and shit. They
I
already
think
have
it's called a wife.
You son of a bitch. Yeah, there's a new AI-powered Chat GPT robot that does simple tasks around the kitchen, but it communicates with you like a person. Even says It's very weird.
Oh, like it's thinking.
It goes, so the reason why I did that is I'm putting these plates away in this rack, and you'll dump garbage on the table and say, please clean that up. Surely. And it just look at this.
What?
Why you did what you just did while you pick up this trash?
On it. So I gave you the apple because it's the only edible item I could provide you with from the table.
Oh,
Look at
that
it
is
cleaning
so
up.
weird. Oh, look at that.
What?
Yeah.
Great.
It stands, too.
Based on the scene right now, where do you think the dishes in front of you go next?
So it's
Hello?
analyzing the image. It's
The
slow
dishes
right
on
now.
the table, like that plate and cup, are likely to go into the drying rack next.
Why does it
Great.
sound like
Can you
it's
put them up?
narrating This American Life?
It's got a raspy voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a dude.
Yeah.
It is weird.
That really looks like a puppet. It doesn't look like a robot.
No, man, it does a lot of other things.
That's
as well.
amazing.
Look at
That
this.
is
Look
truly
how it puts the
amazing.
dish into the drying rack.
Does it apologize if it makes a mistake?
If it breaks your dick,
Yeah.
rips it right off. I'm
sorry.
So
I applied too much force.
My bad.
Will that eventually have like a skin covering, or will it look
Oh
like
yeah,
that?
I think I
100%.
did pretty well. The apple found its new owner, the
Oh.
trash is gone,
Oh.
and the tableware is right where it belongs.
I
This
call
guy's been
bullshit. You
smoking.
don't see that guy's face every time he talks.
figure one.
That guy is a ventriloquist. that man is speaking for the. Oh, does not compute.
What a cheap act too. Hey, buddy, how about you get behind the table with him?
Yeah, let's drink a glass of
Fucking-
water.
Fucking fraud. Show it dynamic walking. The dynamic walking one is wild. So this thing, by the way, it doesn't have to have that giant
That is
metal plate
amazing.
over its chest, but it does if it doesn't want you to kill it.
That's amazing. It looks
You're gonna have
bulletproof.
to shoot it in the lens. But look at it walk around and move.
Amazing.
It's-
That's amazing.
And this is, think about like a Model T, and then think about a Tesla. Okay, a Model T is this slow, chunky.
dork.
Look at him. Look at his hips move. Sexy.
That's crazy.
Isn't that wild? But think about a Model T, right? Model T's like big, stupid wooden wheels.
Yeah. Oh
I've
my
seen
God.
this. This is really
almost
nuts.
2 years.
Look at that.
Yeah, this is
That's
almost 2 years
amazing.
ago that it could do this.
It's a new American
Look
Ninja
how
Warrior.
agile it is. This is Boston Dynamics,
More update. This is a year ago.
and so they can do all kinds of things. They can fucking saw wood. They can do construction. They can hop up on boxes. Look at this.
This is before AI, right? So,
Well, they had AI, but they
But yeah.
didn't have AI available to everybody.
because
like
now
we
in
do
the
now.
future, you look at something like this and go like, "This is probably
Yeah.
not really happening. This is just.
AI is
This is real. I've seen.
this is real.
Yeah,
Programmed
Look
it
how
to
it
hop,
jumps.
They programmed it to hop around gay.
that is amazing,
And
man.
they programmed it to toss the stuff up to him. This is so much better than a lazy dock worker. Some guy doesn't like his job and needs a cigarette break. This fucking
Look at
thing's
that.
ready to go. And if they figure out how to make, it does
Shit.
acrobatics.
It's a gymnast.
And if they figure out a way to make very small nuclear-powered engines, which I think they're
Battery.
already doing, I think is it China that has a small nuclear-powered power plant?
Yes.
So they'll be able to make a nuclear-powered power plant that's the size of a fucking cell phone and stuff it in that thing. It'll be able to go for 90 years.
Holy shit! Like a battery, like a nuclear. But they already have that, where they use it to power. Like they used to do it for spacecraft. But you're right. Then it would be endless.
Nuclear battery produces power for 50 years without needing to charge.
That's crazy.
Betavolt says its battery can power mobile phones that never need to be charged and drones that can fly forever. Forever.
Would you really want a nuclear powered phone though? That's the one thing. Like,
Fuck
I
yeah.
Can't see. You would?
Yeah, I want my balls to glow. I'm tired of charging
That's one of
it.
those.
I want
I
a
don't know
third
about
ball.
that.
I'm
version.
willing to wear like an external case to put the phone in. It's like some sort of a shield from the. I'm sure the government wouldn't allow these companies to sell it if it was dangerous. So just
No.
Yeah.
let's just let it get out there and let's just
See
let
what
the
happens.
pieces
Yeah.
fall where they may.
True.
Don't be a pussy.
Okay.
Don't you want
Just
a robot?
accept.
I like the robot
You
thing though.
want a robot? We're gonna get robot fuck dolls for shizzy.
People are so
yeah.
anti-robot already. They had the what was that in San Francisco? The self-driving taxi. They lit it on
Oh, I've
fire.
seen that.
It was like basically like like the Amish people. It's like the like they attacked it. They destroyed it.
Yeah, but they do that to regular
Yeah, I know.
taxis in San
Yeah,
Francisco.
yeah.
This is a sampling bias. You got homeless, crazy fentanyl zombies that are just trying to smash everything. People leave their fucking windows rolled down and their keys.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Like in
Bipping.
Canada, they're telling them to leave their keys outside their foyer. They're telling them to leave your keys like near the door.
Yeah.
So that people don't have to like roam through your house if
Nuh-uh.
they're trying to steal your car. Yes.
Really?
Home
Yes.
invasion.
Yes.
Jesus
They said,
Christ.
listen, to make it easier, just leave the keys outside. Like, what? How about
It's a new low.
stop people from stealing my fucking car? What am I paying in taxes for, you fuckheads?
It's like clean needle centers. We're like, if you're going to do the drugs, just do it in the
clean,
house.
but clean needle centers are a lot more reasonable.
I like
San
that
Francisco
kind of drone.
reverses plans to allow police robots to kill suspects. You're
Yeah.
gonna need it soon. But this is how bad San Francisco's got. That this was a suggestion,
Yep.
and they actually have a robot. They're like, not yet, not yet. Let's wait till things go really sideways.
Are they working on like technology for us to read thoughts?
Oh yeah.
What about like
Definitely.
learning what our cats are thinking? I want
Let's low
that.
down on
You
the
don't want
tech.
to know what your cats are thinking. Your cats are thinking, I wish you were small so I could eat you.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah,
Not my
100%.
cat.
They eat you
My
when you
cat's
die.
going, I love you.
When you die, they eat you almost immediately.
Good. I want to be one with my cat.
Let's take a piss break, because I got to piss too.
Yeah.
Let's pause this bitch right here. What the fuck are you doing, Dave? You're living in 1995.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. You know he sends me emails with no body and everything's in the subject?
How long is the subject?
It's so long.
That's
I forget
see one of those.
to return, so it's all up there.
Yeah. It's the best.
So how about the great sound when I'm doing it, like
This
Morse
is
code?
madness. How long does this take for you to accomplish this?
I'm done. Sent.
So you don't have an iPhone at all anymore?
I have one too, but this is
even
me
T9.
off the grid.
Yeah.
This is my when shit happens. Right here, I'm ready to go.
So what do you use that one for? Like, who do you text on that
No,
one?
this one's like just like for all my texting. The other one's for emails and stuff.
Wait a
But
minute.
This is not on Wi-Fi.
You text on that?
Yeah.
So when I text you, you text me on that?
Yeah, I do.
That
Can't you feel it? The
Yeah.
Old.
That's why
that
there's like
is
10
so
spaces in between words.
insane. That is so insane. I'm sending you a text right now. I want to see what happens. That is so insane.
This is good.
Oh my God. Yeah, it comes up green.
Just wait for the sound, Dave.
You texting or you calling?
I'm texting you. Tell me about your upcoming weekend at the mothership.
Might take a while.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't have voice to text either, does it?
No.
He doesn't know.
If
what
it did,
that
I
is.
wouldn't do that anyhow.
Really?
I'm like super paranoid with the web and everything. So this is like.
But yet you have an iPhone.
I do, but you know that's whatchamacallit, bait and switch. Okay, let's see if I get it.
Did you get it yet?
I did. No. Okay.
Wait,
I
when's
didn't
it
get
gonna
it.
make the sound?
Your name isn't.
They always make sounds. Every time you text a button, it makes a sound.
Yeah.
That doesn't drive you
It
nuts?
really annoys people too.
Yeah.
So
Wait,
it
I think
takes
it's
you
coming
like
in.
4 presses to get an S still? You're doing that thing?
Yeah. You got to really want it.
That is so nuts.
I can't even find your thing yet. It'll take me days.
Do you remember when people started using U, like the letter U,
Yeah.
instead of YOU? Because of that.
A time saver.
Just a little time saver.
It doesn't even have emojis on it. Like any emoji is like now
He still uses
inappropriate.
emoticons, like a colon and a parentheses
I use
for,
those sometimes too.
for a smiley face.
Well, are you guys done with this tech beatdown on me? It's like I'm a tech hoarder. Come out of the house, buddy. Come on, we love you.
How long have you been flip phone?
I never. I have one in my house, which I'm sure is worth a lot of money because it has the antenna on it. So that's like my retirement plan. I'm going to sell that to a museum or some collector or something like that. But it's got that little like, and I'm like, man, I can't believe like we actually used to think this did something like.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't really hear you. Hold on a
Hold
second.
on.
Yeah. Okay, now it's up. I can hear you too clear. Let me put it down just a little bit.
I think it probably did a little something. They
Yeah,
wouldn't
but you had one of
design it
these.
there. Yeah.
Actually, that reminds me of a story about you. Bill Blumenreich. You know what he said to me? He goes, you know, back in the day, one of the comics who always worked was Joe. And you know why? I go, why? He goes, he had a cell phone before anybody else. So whenever there was a fallout, I would call Joe. Joe was there. Joe wanted it. And I was like, wow. So it was like a cool story about like just as we went from like, you know, calling someone on a landline to
Yeah.
like a cell phone and that you were ahead of the game.
This is like 89.
Easily.
I had one in
Whoa.
my car.
No
Easily,
way.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how it was for the young comics. having a car was a good thing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, you needed a car to get around. If you didn't have a car, you're not getting to gigs. If you had to have someone drive you to gigs, ugh.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Because like I could get a call from Bloomerite, like, hey, someone just got sick.
That was it. Yeah,
like,
that's what he's saying.
In 2 hours, there's a gig in New Hampshire. Can you make it? I'm like, I'm on my way.
That's awesome.
And
Yeah, because you wanted it.
Yeah, and he would tell me over the phone, okay, you're going to take the 405 north. Like, you'd have to like write it down. So I had these pieces of paper that were like, Dick's Chuckle Fuck and whatever the place was. Because Dick Doherty had a bunch of them. Dick Doherty had like the Comedy Hut and all these different comedies, the Comedy Vault.
That's awesome.
That Boston scene must have been like, because, talk about New York, like, starting out. I always felt like there was definitely more rooms, like more open mics and stuff like that. But Boston, like, you kind of like, they were paying gigs if you could do them, if you could headline. And there were so many local great headliners that like you really like swimming with sharks, basically. I mean, there was like so many guys that could just like basically, blow you off the stage at any minute,
And they would do it to people on purpose.
They did it to me. I know that.
With at Nick's?
Really?
They do it at Nick's?
They would just come like the Hookie Lao or something like that. Like, you don't mind if I do a little time? And there was like 40 minutes of solid, every Boston thing they could throw at me. And then I'm up there with my like, little people jokes to be polite. Hey, you guys, leprechauns, nothing. Go home. Screaming at you.
They did it on purpose to people.
For sure. Wow. And we deserved it too, by the way.
Well, they had an attitude about the rest of the world when it came to comedy. They felt like the best comics were in Boston, but they all stayed in Boston. And whenever guys would come from out of town that were like headliners, like national headliners, they would roast that guy.
Oh, for sure.
They would throw him after Don Gavin and Steve Sweeney and Kevin Knox and fuck.
It was such a wake up call. But even the
Lenny
crowds
Clark.
themselves, like very, very like, you better prove it.
Oh, yeah.
To be up there. If you're the closer, you better be the best guy here.
Also, there was so many fucking headliners that they were just so used to a very high level of headliner. These guys were killers. You just pull out a comb to do your fucking mustache.
Yes, I was hoping you were making eye contact with Dave.
You just wanted to make sure everything's in line.
Yeah.
Everything's in order. Yeah. How often do you comb your mustache?
A fair amount. Whenever I feel the need.
A fair amount. Do you have a specific mustache comb or just use any old?
I just get one from Walgreens or whatever.
I've seen them little tiny ones. They have little tiny mustache.
I don't like them. The teeth are too sharp and it hurts my little face.
That makes sense. You get a nice soft plastic one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Old school
You got to. Sometimes shit gets in there, Trimmed it up today. Don't want any loose hairs.
I get it. Before I was bald, I used to enjoy running a comb through my head. It's a nice little scalp massage.
Now I'm afraid my hair will fall out, so I can't do it.
Looking at the demise in your
I know.
comb.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Oh, no.
I started going bald when I was like 18.
Really?
Crazy, yeah.
What was that like?
Lonely.
Bro, there's a kid in my high school that was going bald at 15, and everybody called him Baldy.
Oh, God.
That was his nickname, Baldy.
That's horrific.
Kids were brutal back then.
They were.
Oh,
They
yeah.
were fucking brutal in the 80s.
They were brutal
In
in the 90s and 2000s.
They're brutal right now.
Yeah.
They're beyond brutal, I think, now. This is just heartless, what they're doing,
Yeah.
That's like, I don't know. But we didn't have that web to, like, everything it does.
Accentuate everything.
Yeah.
And then also, like, get the clicks. Every time someone's getting their ass kicked, someone's filming it.
Thank God that didn't exist when I was in school. My God.
Imagine how many dick pics you'd have out there in the world.
Be in trouble.
Yeah, these kids today.
Yeah.
These kids today.
Teachers and students.
Yeah, that's wild. Teachers always fuck students. There was always like teachers fucking students.
Yeah, but we didn't find out about it till later. Like, did you hear so-and-so used to fuck Mr. Blah, blah?
There's always the like very advanced senior who was banging a Spanish teacher.
Rolling his R's.
It is funny, like that's like professors and universities. That was kind of understood. That was part of the gig.
That was, that's why you did
I
it.
used to be a teacher, and they're like, never, ever be in a room with the door shut. You leave the door open all the time, and you're never alone with anyone. I was like, yeah, this is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And I see some of the shit with what teachers share on the internet with them and like students. I'm like, this is such a violation of boundaries. It's crazy.
What do you, you know, the homeschooling seems way better now.
Well, those teachers fuck their kids too.
Seems like a better option for everything.
Oh shit.
You know, it's always like, hey, homeschool, you must be weird. Now it's like, I guess you're just being safe, you know?
Yeah. You don't want your kid indoctrinated either.
What do you think of college now? Do you think it's a waste of time?
Yes.
Well, it clearly depends on what you want to do. If you want to be a computer coder, good fucking luck. AI is going to take over all that.
Yeah.
There's so many jobs that are going to vanish
That's
over the next
true.
5 years. But it's also like such a rude, cruel thing to do to an 18-year-old kid that has no fucking idea what they want to do for their life.
Yes.
And you force them into debt.
Decide now.
And you force them into a debt that's insanely difficult to get out of. It's way harder than just going bankrupt. It's hard to get out of that debt. You're fucked.
I got in trouble when I was teaching because I told all my students, I'm like, take the test to go to school, but pick up a trade. Go to trade school and start making money. That's like the smart thing to do.
Well, if that's what you want to do. But, you know, it depends on what you're trying to do with your life.
Yeah, but
like
sometimes
somebody
you gotta
wants to be
do
a
stuff you don't
journalist, you
wanna
should probably
do.
go to school.
Yeah, but if you don't know what
Being a
you want to
journalist
do,
today.
what
Yeah.
should you do? You know, I guess that's what it is. It's
Go
like,
out and get a job and know you can always go to college later, you know?
Yeah, but you won't.
yeah,
Not
no,
when you're working.
Peer pressure and
Yeah.
you know,
Also-
your family's pressure on
When
you.
Oh,
you-
yeah, for
when
sure.
you're young, like you have that window where you can kind of like take wild chances from like 18 to like 24, 25. Then once you're like 25, everybody's like, hey, get your fucking shit
yeah.
together. You know, maybe even earlier than that if you're in the Northeast. But if you're, you know, already in a job and you're working 8 hours a day, you're fucking tired. The odds that you're going to quit that and stop making money
Yeah.
and go to school, those aren't so high.
I think it's harder on, you know, not to be the old guy, but like this generation's taught that they're exceptional and that everything they do is like important. Whereas I think when I was growing up, it was like, no, nothing you do is really that important, and that you're also going to have to like kind of work your way up in something. I think a lot of them see their peers like, you know, they went to college, they dropped out, they started a company, or you know, they're an influencer with 1 million followers, so they see success differently than we do. And like for me, it was like, yeah, you gotta like kind of work your way up, or like, you know, it's really about how much you want it, you know, that kind of thing. Whereas now I feel like there really is no game plan. It's really, you know, it's kind of like, you know, you're almost like a sucker if you kind of play the game, you know.
Also, fame is like much more attainable
Yeah.
to regular people now than ever before.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you're willing to do stupid things like pull pranks on people or, you know, there's so
Right.
many different things that people can do now that can get them attention.
Yeah.
And they're doing that as a source of a career.
Yeah, but why, as a teacher, how can you make your kids do work when they're like, no, I'm just going to be a YouTuber. I have more followers than you. Like, shut up.
Well,
But the whole idea of fame is like, when I was growing up, it's like, you don't want to be famous. That's like for, you know, like whatever. That's like, that's not cool. You know, you want to be, you know, something like rough. You know, you want to be like like a lumberjack or something, you know? Like now these kids, even at young ages, they're like, fame is where it's at. That's where you get everything you want. People actually listen to you and they, you know, give you everything you want. So it's like amazing. They've never worked a day in their life, yet they already know they don't want to work, you know?
Dude, I saw the creepiest thing. My friend's daughter took her phone and recorded her, 5 years old, and into the camera she just kept going, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget
that's
to like and
creepy.
subscribe.
That's weird.
Watch my videos. Don't forget to like. And I was like, dude, that's an alien. That kid's
Also,
being trained to be an
it's
alien.
not the kid's choice, and you're exposing the kid to the world.
Yeah.
The whole world. It's dangerous. It's not smart. It's stupid. It's irresponsible.
Yeah. Well, just like that video we watched with the drone, like psychically, we're not supposed to see that.
Well, you're definitely not supposed to see people get blown to pieces.
Well, yeah, but even just
instantaneously
now,
that.
like yes, these things happen, but we shouldn't be aware of it and inundated with it every single day and every single second.
Right, but that's the only way you find out about it, to put pressure on people to stop it. Because if it doesn't leak, like Edward Snowden doesn't put it out there and a bunch of people don't retweet it and get outraged by it, then it doesn't put pressure on the politicians.
But is that going to
doesn't put
stop
pressure-
it? Are they going to
Yeah,
stop?
stuff like that can change things.
Yeah.
Stuff like that changes people's minds. Stuff
Yeah.
like that changes people's understanding of what's actually going on.
Mm-hmm.
Because you keep hearing, oh, no, it's the people that are dying. It's only Hamas uses human shields. Well, clearly that was not a human shield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And clearly those people weren't endangering anybody, and they didn't look like they were armed, and they just blew them apart.
Do you think the people making money off of this, like, do you think they really even care? They're going to keep going.
They're
right?
going to care because the people are going to care, because there's massive public outrage from things like this. And the more things like this happen, the less support you get for military budgets.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put pressure on the politicians that are voting for these things. And then, all that stuff works. It really does have an impact. Because they don't want people to be so outraged that they revolt. They don't want people to pull a Bud Light on the whole government.
Yeah.
Because people are trying to figure out a way to do that. There's a lot of people that are trying to figure out a way to like put a stop to all this shit. So the more things like this come up, it's fuel for those people.
Yeah, but the majority of people don't digest news like we do in like a, endless cycle, and like have time to really kind of think about it. Because I think that a lot of people I know of like, they're really smart people. They just turn the news off. They want rather live in their own bubble that the news really makes them anxious and really makes them. And I'm like, well, you got to know what's going on in the world, right? And then they kind of hit you with that whole thing of like, they're telling you different, like, everyone has a narrative and all that kind of story. But I'm also like, living in your own world is not the way to go either. Because like when you do have to venture out of that bubble, it's terrifying, I think.
Especially like if you don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
If you don't, like there's some new thing that's happening, some new crisis that's you don't know. And you just walk right into it.
I mean, yeah, it's like as like I'm like curious. Like I'm just like I'd like to see all sides of something, but not to make it political or anything. That I think a lot of these people just decide to like, you know what, it's not for me. I'd rather kind of like work on my own. Some of it's mental health. If just a lot of this stuff really shakes people to the core when they finally have to deal with it. So I that's the reason why like board games are still around because people love the idea that you can disconnect from the world and like you're in like your own little world where you get to be God and here's the rules of it and stuff like that. So, there's something to that. Puzzles, that's why. Hello? You guys don't believe to me? You don't believe me?
Shill for Milton Bradley.
Sorry.
No, for sure. People like puzzles.
No, people want to disconnect. That's like we're in that business. People want to get away from their problems,
Fuck yeah.
Well, yeah, and I think people deserve to.
100%.
But also, like, if you're poor and you're barely making ends meet, like, you don't have time to worry about what's going on over here. Like, sure, you can be informed, but it's so hard to be informed and not let it take a toll on you.
Well, that's why the great luxury is the people that go. Please don't do that.
No, I wanted to see if your message came.
The great. I thought he was going to text somebody with that fucking goofy thing. The great luxury.
Please don't do that.
Of like rich privileged kids is becoming an activist.
Yeah.
That's right.
Those
Yeah.
are the ones that are splashing paint on the Mona Lisa and gluing themselves to walls.
Yeah.
Those are all kids from privileged backgrounds who feel guilty, and they have this insane view that you're just going to stop oil now, and the way to do it is to glue yourself to the Mona Lisa.
But that's been going around since
Fucking
the
dipshits.
70s. There was a lot of rich kids that were involved.
Of course. It's always rich kids.
Yeah.
Because those are the kids that have the luxury of being able to go out and protest and do
Well, also,
stuff
I think
like
it's like
this.
inherent guilt, too.
Oh,
of
yeah.
like, God, I feel so bad. What can I do?
100%, especially today. Today, you're being told that just by virtue of the color of your skin, you're a colonizer.
Yeah.
You're responsible for everything. And there's people like some of these people that are in these protests, they haven't thought shit out at all.
No.
So they get confronted by influencers, right? And they ask them like real simple questions to get them riled up. Like, what do you think we should do? We need to like get rid of this country.
Capitalism.
You don't understand. We're
Yeah.
trying to dissolve the country. Get
That's
away
what-
from the capitals. Get away from the capital. Like, what?
Dude, I saw the best thing. I went to a rally or like a protest, and it was during the summer of 2020, and everyone's like marching and everything, and I went to go check it out, and this girl was wearing like an ACAB shirt and chanting like NYPD, racist police, and a cop was like, "Excuse me, miss, you can't stand here." And she goes, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," and then like shifted and then started protesting again.
She lost all her cred,
You
her
fucking
street cred.
faker! What
Yep.
the fuck?
Sure that wasn't a skit? That sounds like a skit.
I saw it with my own eyes.
Oh, it must be real.
Yeah.
There's no way it could be fake.
Yes. It was not fake.
Oh, you saw it. You
It was
saw
right. No, I was
You
there,
right
next to me.
Oh, I'm
Next to
sorry.
me.
That
in
wasn't a
person.
crisis actor.
Because that sounds like if I saw that one on Instagram, I'd be like, come on.
Oh no! I was there. Like
Oh,
it happened
that's
right
crazy.
next to me, and I was with my buddy, and we just started laughing.
How dumb is that?
Yeah. And then I was in Central Park for one, and I swear to God, this guy had a sign, and this super hot fucking girl went up to him and goes, "Can I borrow your sign?" Grabbed it, turned around, took a picture, gave it back, and left.
Yeah. A model.
It was stolen
Imagine being
valor.
a young guy just trying to trust anything today.
Oh,
Anything. You're
especially
20.
hot pussy.
Well, what about, why are you always at these protests yet you're not in them? Is that like the guy who goes to see the fires?
I'm
like
a
you're like
conscious
the
observer.
like a wannabe fireman? Like I like to
I
just
am
go
a wannabe
see
fireman. I love
Yeah.
firefighters.
Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you used a Halligan bar? Good work, fellas.
Oh, yeah, you're like, you know the stats.
Oh, yeah. I was a volunteer firefighter in high school. I loved it.
Were you really?
in high school.
Yeah, before 9/11.
Wow.
If you're not fighting fires, it's a great gig.
What?
If you're not fighting fires, it's a great gig to be a fireman.
Yeah, but
Because if you don't have to fight the fires, you
Right.
don't have to like,
Oh,
risk
yeah.
your life and go into a burning building.
Well,
You
I
You're in the firehouse. You're watching movies. You're
hanging
making
out.
dinner.
I was always in the
cooking.
pool room playing pool so I could slide down the pole.
There you go,
And everybody
bro.
beat me running down the stairs, but I didn't care. Yeah, I did it from like 16 or whatever to 18, and I was a junior firefighter, so I wasn't allowed to fight fires in the interior. I could just do it from the exterior. And then we were like the bitches. We had to go and clean everything up and clean the trucks. And then I fought a car fire once at 2 a.m. because I lived close to the house and you could hear the sirens. So I showed up and it was me and two other guys. It was all volunteer. And they let me fight the fire myself. And I was so nervous I didn't strap my helmet on. And I like popped the hood, my helmet falls off, and I left the hose running. It was like a
Wow.
Charlie Chaplin movie.
World
It was
hardest catch.
Oh, it was hard. It was so embarrassing. They're just in the truck laughing. I'm like, sorry, fellas.
That's one of my fears, the car fire. I mean, that's a horrible death.
What,
Am I
being
right?
in it?
Yeah.
Oh no, it was a
Yeah,
stolen,
no, being
abandoned
in
car.
it.
I thought you meant just watching one.
One of the
No,
worst ones
watching
I've
it is
ever
cool,
heard.
but
One of the worst ones I've ever heard is Northern California. The wildfires. It
Yes.
swarmed the highway.
Oh,
Killed
yeah.
everybody in their cars. Trapped, bumper to bumper. Can't get away.
that's like hell on earth when they have the family driving, like trying to drive to safety, and you just see all that sparks and all that kind of stuff coming in.
Oh, fuck, man. Dude, I've been evacuated 3 times living in California.
No
Yeah, fire burned 2 houses in front of my house. Yeah.
And
to
what
the
do you do?
ground.
Like, are you out there with a hose? Like, are you like what's the
we
move?
got the fuck
You got
out,
out,
of there.
right?
Yeah, I'm
What do you
not-
grab?
Nothing. Grabbed a laptop. Grabbed a laptop and some clothes. I'm like, I can get everything else. Fuck this place.
And do they have?
Stay alive.
Can you-
That's what it's like, man. When you see it, when you see like everything over the horizon is fire.
Yeah.
I mean, from the left to the right, everything coming over the hills is fire.
That's crazy.
And it's just engulfing buildings. You're seeing your neighbor's house on fire. And you just get the fuck out while you can.
And Ivan, so they just did. Supposedly they have enough rain now for like till 2025 in California. That they're saying like this should help like both the consumption and also with all that snow up in the Northern California that it should like be like if there's a forest fire now, what is that like?
Well,
what
see,
happens?
this doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter?
Because it doesn't matter. If you have a wildfire like they had where those people died on the highway, those things are so big, you can't even comprehend it. It's so hot. There's so much fire. It's literally thousands and thousands of acres around you are just engulfed in flames, and it's moving at like 20 miles an hour.
Oh, shit.
Like
Jesus
you
Christ.
ain't. There's nothing happening that you're gonna do with water.
Okay.
And the other problem with getting a lot of rainfall is you get a lot of growth. So you get a lot of grasses, wild grasses grow, and they're very tall. And then they dry out because it stops raining like
Right.
it always fucking does, and everything turns brown. And as soon as things get hot and everything turns brown and it stops raining, that's when fire season happens. And it's a lot of it is fucking idiots throwing cigarettes out the window.
Sorry.
A lot of it is people that are camping, homeless people start
And
fires.
gender reveals.
Yeah,
You know, they have
that's right.
like they have the fireworks at the gender reveal.
Yeah.
Everybody loses their house. How about like those guys, the smoke jumpers, whatever the people that do that? That's a balls gig. But they didn't have that in Hawaii. They had nothing like that there. Like when that town went up, you know, it was all made of bamboo. I mean, it was crazy.
yeah.
Oh, you mean in Maui?
In Maui,
the
yeah.
Maui thing's crazy.
Yeah.
'Cause the
That-
Maui was power lines downed.
Oh, that's
Power
what it
lines.
was.
And wasn't
Then
response time terrible too?
It was non-existent.
Yeah.
They never had
non-existent.
anything like that happen there.
Yeah, but there was also a lot of problems. Like the people didn't want to release the water because the water is owned. Like there's water rights, and I think
Oh,
the
wow.
water was going to the rich neighborhoods where the golf courses are. And so
Wow.
there's like
Fucking
trying to get
class.
the water, and then there's also like, how the fuck do you have a place that's this windy where you still have exposed power lines? That seems insane.
Man.
That seems insane. Like every time those things fall down and you didn't clean up any of the brush around it.
Wasn't the conspiracy that they were trying to get it out of there so they could sell the land?
Yes. The crazy conspiracy is the direct energy weapons conspiracy. People think
What?
that those fires. What the fuck? Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah. Bro, the real tinfoil hat dudes, they'll corner you. Like, what do you think about the direct energy weapon in Maui?
Was that like a heart attack gun for fires?
There's apparently the government has the ability, according to the conspiracy theorists, of and maybe even some real people, of having these things that they call direct energy weapons. So it's almost like a laser beam. And I know that these are things that they're working on. I know these are things that are probably top secret because it's always been discussed. There's been studies on how to do it, and there's been papers written on it. So the conspiracy theory is that they lit those houses on fire on purpose with direct energy weapons. And if you had a blue house, with a blue ceiling, that the blue ceiling would somehow reflect against this energy weapon and stop your house from burning.
No way.
Oh, yeah. Not only that, but they used, because Biden did some speech, and in his, old kind of senile way, he was talking about how some houses survived because they had the right roof. And everybody's like, see? It's the blue roof.
That's all it takes.
So conspiracy theorists literally painting their roofs blue to protect them from direct energy weapons. Jamie, please Google this.
No way.
By the way, this might have been one of those things that 4chan started for a fuck, just for goofing with people,
yeah.
and then people ran with it. Who knows? Or it might be just people that are out of their
Can you
fucking
imagine
minds.
your house burning up because your wife or partner was like, no, don't paint it blue.
Operation
We want
Blue
green.
Roof.
That's a thing, but it's
No
not.
way.
It's part of the conspiracy thing.
What does that mean? What is Operation
One
Blue Roof?
post
Operation Blue
on
Roof
X.
is the thing about getting people blue tarps to cover their roofs. That's not the same thing as what.
Oh, the tent cities.
Allegedly. Allegedly, but social media posts sharing the post typically include a video from a TikTok account that often shares clips of everyday items being burned by a handheld industrial laser in a workshop. The clip shows a laser burning yellow, red, and green fabric while a blue swatch is unscathed, with text saying it can be programmed for different wavelengths.
Wow.
So some lasers don't work on blue ceilings, and these people think that it's the blue roof
Did
that'll
you see-
protect you.
Someone said everything that's blue survived, including T-shirts.
A blue car and some blue beach umbrellas around Front Street along the waterfront were not destroyed in the inferno.
And the Blue Man Group. They were playing in town. They were doing a road gig. That is really stretching it, if you ask me.
Yeah, they're going hard on this.
This is too much.
DEW stands for direct energy weapons, which use technology like high energy lasers instead of projectiles like bullets. But these videos are not evidence that they have anything to do with the wildfires. To start with, they show, what is the videos are saying? Handful of blue items in the fire's aftermath. But other footage and photos show these were hardly the only things left standing. So, but the thing about the direct energy weapon, is there videos of those things being used? Like, is there is a direct energy weapon a real thing, like 100%?
Yeah.
So that's different.
I think it's true. It's like what you said, lasers.
So there's videos of the U.S. government talking about direct energy weapons
Yeah.
in very broad terms,
It's only like $15 a shot.
but they don't.
It's true. No, they were
Really?
saying that
It's
this will
cheap?
be the best way to shoot down missiles and drones.
High energy lasers and high powered microwaves. Oh, so
Boom.
they just shot that thing?
Nice.
Almost looks like the drone video,
Nice.
So they just shot that out of the sky?
but it's coming from a boat onto a boat. I don't know how it works.
Oh. And so what does it
Look
look
at that guy just glumly typing.
typing on. Isn't
I
it
thought it would
racist
be
to
a-
use an Asian guy?
That'd be an airborne ranger.
With the computer guy, we only let Asians handle our computers in the Navy.
It's a DEI
Does
hire.
it show, what is that video at the bottom? Why the U.S. military is investing billions in
10-minute
directed
video.
energy?
And it's
Well,
not
yeah.
right there.
I guarantee they're
That's
doing
cool.
it because they know how to do it. But by the time they're telling you they're investing billions, they probably already invested billions.
Sure.
They probably figure out
There was a video. It's not.
video claiming. Hold on.
There it
Claiming to
is.
show a directed energy weapon is actually an edited clip of an explosion in Russia.
That's not what I was trying to pull up. Though.
Man, this stuff is.
There was a video of what looked like a laser coming out of the sky,
Yeah, I saw that.
and during a storm or
Somebody
something like that.
explained that's cell phone video cameras glitching under the intense exposure of a lightning bolt. Like that's something that light flashes and it creates like a distortion in some cell phones. I don't know if that's true though. That was just
So it's a natural.
someone had.
It's a natural thing. It's not.
What'd that look like? Show that again.
I don't know what I was even looking at. That's
That
what I'm trying
lady, that video that you just showed.
No, I know, but I'm trying to. I don't know what the hell they're showing because I can't hear the sound. It's showing all sorts of stuff. They're talking about
Whoa.
just images that were going viral during it. Some of them are real, some of them are not.
Look at her smiling.
See, like right there, for instance, pause.
That's a controlled burn at a Canton refinery in Ohio.
And because of that light going to the sky,
Right.
someone thinks it's a laser.
Everybody thinks
It's just a rainbow.
There's another one.
Oh, that's
What is that
cool.
one?
SpaceX launch.
Oh, that's interesting that people are doing that. But that's people. Some people are out of their fucking minds.
There's a thing that happened though on Twitter too. I feel like this doesn't get talked about sometimes. People are trying to get engagement money because if you build up an account that can get engagement, doesn't matter if it's good engagement, bad engagement. You just got to get the numbers. You can start getting revenue. So people are reposting real old viral videos, confusing people with shit posts like this,
right.
just to build up the 5 million views.
So
of
they're
But
just
here's the real conspiracy about the fires. Like they haven't done any rebuilding. Those people, they weren't allowed to have insurance inspectors go in there. I don't know if they can now. That people still had to pay their mortgage on those things.
Oh, jeez.
And the thing is,
worst.
it's like if you're getting to this point where you don't have anything and you can't rebuild your house and you're fucked, and then they come along and offer you a payment or something, or you get foreclosed on because you haven't paid your mortgage, and then the banks own it. And then whoever the fuck is the developer owns it. And then whatever they want to do for the better good of Maui, they build there. And then these people lose everything. This is what's really scary about it. It's because like the way it's being handled is not like you're handling victims of a natural disaster that's horrific and took more lives than any wildfire in the history of this country. You're doing it like you are trying to figure out a way to take that from those people. You're not doing it like you're trying to support those people and build it back. You're doing it like if you know what's really going on. You're not asking for financial aid for these people to deal with their mortgages, and you're not asking for aid from the government in one of those giant Ukraine bills. It would take $5 billion, right? Wasn't that what the money was? $5 billion to rebuild all those houses? That's a drop in the bucket to what they're spending in Ukraine.
Yeah.
And there's no consideration at all to do something for these fucking people. That seems like you don't want to do anything.
They declared an emergency. I know when it happened, like a federal, like that usually means they can activate all federal funds and.
Bro, those people got a one-time payment of $700.
Jesus
that's
Christ.
an outrage.
One-time payment.
Didn't we get more for stimulus checks?
Yeah.
That's an outrage. Then.
Yeah.
Dude, well, fucking FEMA, when Hurricane Katrina hit, I went down to help like clean up and rebuild homes and stuff, and they sent us to Foley, Alabama, because they still didn't get relief from Hurricane Ivan like years prior.
Wow.
So there were still homes with roofs blown off from Hurricane Ivan.
Jeez.
So did they tell them we're going to send down some high school firemen? Don't hang up the phone. We're sending some kids.
Don't let them go to your strip club.
They're not popular in high school, but they want to be firemen. They have all the weekend open. They don't have dates or friends.
Hello, fellas, I'm here to help.
Hi. Anybody got a shovel for me?
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
That's amazing.
That's what I like. I know a guy who just took the MTA test, and now he's an MTA guy. You know, that's the guy who drives the trains in the subways. Yeah. So I'm like, I wonder what kind of training they give them now, because it's more than just driving a train. It's got to be like, you know, you got to make a choice now.
Yeah.
All right.
Learn more.
Do you pull to the station, or do you hit the homeless man who's on the tracks? Like, what do you do? You know, like all kinds of hypotheticals.
Yeah.
How many times do homeless people get got down there?
There's so much going on in that station. Like.
Not even homeless people. How many people get pushed by homeless people?
Yeah. Someone was pushed. She had both of her feet amputated, cut right off.
Oh, and the videos are the best because the people videotaping it aren't upset about the loss of human life. They're upset because they're late to work.
They're late, yeah.
They're like, I got somewhere to be.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah.
So crazy. The pushing people onto the tracks things is fucking terrifying.
I think that's new, if you ask me. That's something that's only the last couple of years. Maybe.
But also, it's just so scary because it's random. at like 8
Yeah.
a.m. at a popular station.
Yep.
3:30 on the work commute.
And do you know how much that's going to ramp up with people coming in from everywhere around the world and not having any jobs that were promised to them and being angry at everybody and knowing they can get away with crime and already being a
Oh, for
murderer,
sure.
already committing murder in your country and you got away with it. And now here you are in America.
And also-
you're doing fentanyl.
Multiple
Yeah, throw that on there. Just
and multiple people that are doing the pushings have been locked up so many times, and their family are like, this
Yeah.
person is sick.
Yeah.
We've dropped them off at a hospital and they keep getting released. We don't know what to do.
But what can you do, really?
But what can't the government
Use
do?
one of
How
those
come they can't-
lasers.
How come they don't? I mean, this was after the Reagan administration. They
Yeah,
let
they-
all the nutty people out in the street.
Well, Geraldo Rivera was the guy who took that. He did that documentary on Creed. Where was it? Like it was this.
Al Capone's vault.
No, but it was like one of those. But he went to an asylum, and he just saw people laying in their own filth and just how horrible it was. And that was the beginning of the basically the defund these psychiatric hospitals, where through medication they were allowed to release them into society again. And that's where people are now like, we really could use an asylum
We need to
right
open
now.
them
Yeah.
up and then incentivize workers with high pay to have smart people with compassion working there, not just bottom of the barrel.
That's a
people
tough.
that
Yeah,
don't
that's
care.
where the Willowbrook. Yeah.
Oh,
this is
yeah.
really.
Oh,
this is
God.
talk about something that's hard to watch. Is this thing here, man?
Landmark investigation of Staten Island's Willowbrook State School, an institution for the developmentally disabled.
It's
His
terrible.
expose forever changed the face of mental health. Ugh.
It's my alma mater.
But that's the fucking horrible thing about people when they can get away with doing things. When no one's like Geraldo Rivera or somebody else is like breathing down their neck trying to find out what the fuck is going on.
That's institutionalized. Yep. But that's what people did back then. They put them in these places,
forever.
get them off the streets.
Yeah.
And
no
now
one
people are
checked
looking
in
at
on
it,
them.
going like, maybe that's a good idea.
I used to work at a sober living house, and one of the kids was like severely autistic, and his family would just send him to different rehabs and sober living houses because he was so difficult to deal with, and would just say he had a problem with marijuana. And then the kid learned how to smoke crack from people in the houses.
Yeah.
And he ended up dying in a crack house. It's like the saddest thing ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the saddest thing ever.
What? This poor kid.
Was that sadder than those guys getting drone bombed?
Well, it's
Imagine being living in Gaza, you're just fucked. You're already fucked.
yeah.
And you're just like going, oh my God, let's walk back and see if there's anything there.
Yeah, but
And
imagine-
the Israeli army is targeting you.
Yeah, but imagine going to a crack house thinking you're going to color with some guy and he ends up killing you.
Yeah, that's not good either. I don't know if it's the saddest thing. It's definitely sad.
It's parallel sad.
But the sober living house, like,
It's
how
all
does that
sad.
work?
It's all sad.
Yeah. What do you mean?
I've only seen it on that show of the, with Dr. Drew, the sober living house. Like, what is it like? Have you lived in one?
Yeah.
What's it like? Like, you have chores and,
Well, I lived in a 3-quarter house, an Oxford house in Delaware.
Yeah.
And so it was self-run. So we had everyone had a role, like a comptroller, a treasurer, a chore coordinator, a president of the house, and we kept each other accountable. But sober living house, like a halfway house, you have house managers and clinical assistants and everything that basically like babysit you and take you.
And you have to have a
your
job
appointments.
besides working there, right? Living there, you have to have a job outside
Yeah,
of the house.
you help them get jobs and everything.
Okay.
And then I
like that idea.
Yeah,
I mean, it
and then I
sounds
got
like-
fired for drinking, so it didn't end well.
That's like the first rule. You're like,
yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I didn't read
right.
the handbook.
Oh, right.
Did they give you a warning or is this one time?
Oh, out.
Out.
Yeah.
Out.
And they didn't catch me. I came to them and was like, I fucked up. I was on the road and I took a 2-week bender and it was bad. And I came back and got fired.
Wow. So were you clean when you came back?
To the house?
Yeah. Or were you still a little drunk?
No, I mean, like, I hadn't drank yet that day.
But
and
you
I
drank
left and
the day
got
before.
cocked. Yeah.
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 So did you just stand in your... Once you were fired, did you just get in your car and get reloaded in front of the house?
I
Hey,
love that
guys.
expression.
What do you think of this?
I love that expression. I went to get cocked. That's a great fucking drunk expression.
Oh, yeah.
Getting cocked.
Yeah.
That's what I know a guy who was in a rehab and that He told me, we were like looking out the window, and he told me, he goes, you see all those cars over there? Those are all drug dealers. They're just waiting for some guy to go, I've had it, and they'll come out.
No way.
And they'll like immediately sell them drugs. And it was like, it was kind of like the shark circling the shark cage. Like it was that kind of like, they're just out there like, and I'm like, wow, that shouldn't be allowed. You know, like
So
I'm like
evil.
an idiot, you know.
my
You shouldn't be there. You know.
Isn't that
fellas,
crazy?
cut it out.
Man,
Yeah.
you did your time.
Yeah.
Celebrate.
They're like, nice day. You know, like the slither snake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they don't want to lose a customer. That's the best way to get them back when they're vulnerable.
Oh,
right,
for
coming
sure.
right out.
Well, dude, back to that book Dreamland. It talks about these Mexicans from Nayarit bringing black tar heroin to America, and how it exploded was because of their customer service.
Right?
They had a paging system. They had cell phones. They would give addicts extra. And be like, hey, it's on the house. You're a good customer. And then when they didn't hear from for a while, since they had their numbers, they'd call them, be like, how are you? Do you want to meet up? We have some new heroin if you want to try it out.
Yeah, man, I do.
Yeah.
I do. Like you're on the tipping point. You're at
caught me
home
on
in the kitchen,
You know
bored,
what?
drinking
This is a sign
coffee.
from God.
You caught him at the right time.
You know what, Jose? I'll see you in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, it was like Domino's for heroin.
Way worse.
Yeah.
Domino's doesn't call you. Are you hungry, Ian? Ian, would you like a pizza? Fuck, I would like a pizza.
Cheesy
How
bread?
about one on the house, Ian?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are the best. I'm a little short on funds right now.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, Ian.
And their
Pizza's your friend.
Their number one export that they would use all their money, the drug dealers, was Levi's 501 jeans. And they would bring it back to their families, and that would show everyone in Nayarit, like, wow, we have money now. So they would raid these places, and the closets would be stacked floor to ceiling with jeans.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
With an iron crease in them. Only, I was always like, man, why do they do that? It's never going to be slacks. It's jeans. They're like, no, that's how we like it.
Yeah. It was their sign of opulence.
Yeah.
A nice pair of jeans.
Well, you ever go to like Houston? They always have like that Tex-Mex cowboy bar, like where you're not really supposed to go in there. It's for other people, and like those guys are dressed up. You know, they got their jeans ironed. They got the big 10-gallon on. You know, it's like a big night out, and I'm always like, man, good for these guys, man. And then of course there's some kind of shots fired in the parking lot. Something terrible happens, but you know, you're like, they're cowboys. You know, of course,
Legit
They're-
cowboys.
Yeah, you know, this is Unforgiven here. There's some issue. You know, something of the cows. Something about the
Cattle fight.
like grazing rights or something. Those are cool towns, though. The you don't get that much anymore. Everything looks the same.
Yeah.
You know, all these towns are the same now.
There's no late night food.
No, nowhere. Well, actually, I think this
Does
might
New York
be
City still have it?
Nope.
Barely.
Well, we just have pizza.
Katz's
and,
Deli still open?
yeah.
Yeah, but it's like $35 for fucking
Don't.
But not all
pastrami.
night.
But
I'm-
don't, if you want a fucking
Vegas.
pastrami sandwich at 4 a.m, you should be willing to pay $35.
I'd be willing to pay it, but it's not open. It's like Vegas. We were just in Vegas.
Yeah.
That has like late night food, and it's pretty good. What was that place you took? Where was that?
Oh, Ping Pang Pong.
That's a real
The
place.
Chinese food.
It's
Yep.
open real late?
It's
like-
24 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you think the people who work there are angels because they look exhausted. I mean, you're in a casino working at a Chinese food restaurant, like it's everything you would think. But then you're like, hey, this food is really good.
Yeah.
I can't believe
The
it.
best Chinese I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah, I got their chopsticks logo tattooed on me.
That's hilarious.
And
There's a restaurant inside Encore at the Wynn Hotel. The Wynn has like a Michelin star Chinese restaurant in it. I think it's the only Chinese restaurant in the country, I think, that has a Michelin
Wow.
star, or one
Whoa.
of the only ones. It's incredible. What is that place called, Jamie? It's incredible. It's like, what is it called?
Wing Lee, Wing Lei.
Wing Lei, yeah, or Wing Lee.
Vegas.
L.E.?
Yeah, I mean, they don't
yeah,
help us.
Wing
I
Lei.
sound really racist when I'm naming my favorite Chinese restaurant.
Yeah,
Go
Chinese
to
restaurant.
Ping Pang Pong.
Well,
First Chinese restaurant in America to earn a Michelin star.
Whoa.
But those are normal hours. Like that's 5:30
Yeah.
night. That's like a restaurant.
It's a real restaurant. You have to dress
Yeah.
nice too. Like you can't wear
Cool.
like a cutoff.
Whoa. Woke fried Maine lobster?
Dude,
It
it's
sounds so good.
wok fried, not
Oh.
woke.
Sorry.
It's like
Poetry slam.
we fry it in trans tears.
We ask its permission.
You have to take a knee. What was going to say?
Ping, pang, pong.
Yeah, there it is.
I'm impressed with Vegas. I mean,
the best.
Vegas has really turned the corner. You know?
Vegas is a different place.
It
now.
is a total different. You see it too, right?
It's also Vegas became much more about entertainment than just about
for sure,
gambling.
and also like the Sphere is a good example of like what is possible. Like I'm sure that's
Right.
just the beginning of it. You know?
Yeah, with that kind of money.
We went to the BattleBot arena there.
Listen, when you're driving through Vegas and just the neon and all the craziness, it's fucking amazing.
It is amazing.
It's amazing.
And I did shows at Wise Guys, which was a great club, by the way, in Vegas. The locals came out and they were so happy to see a show. Like usually it's casino or whatever, bigger only, but just to have like a regular club there is really cool too. And there's a bunch, but this is off the strip. It's way off, so it's mostly for the locals. So it was kind of refreshing to see the locals come out. And let's say, is there a more jaded crowd than a Vegas crowd? You know, they've seen it all.
Not, right?
Yeah, so they were really cool.
Yeah, they were
and
great.
I like Vegas. I feel like Vegas has turned the corner, man. It's popping now.
Yeah,
You know?
well, it's a place where people go to have a good time. So when you do shows there, like, doing shows, you ever do the Mirage?
I think so in the past, for sure.
That's that, what is it, the Terry Fedor Theater?
Oh, no, I
The
don't think I
Mirage?
think- Yeah, he's
Yeah.
It was called that.
It was called that. I think they changed it, but the fucking place is great. I was there with Gillis like a few months back. It's amazing. You get in there and you're like, holy shit, this place is incredible.
Yep.
I forgot how fun it was. And it's like a bunch of people there to have a good time. It's like that's what you want. You
Yeah.
want people that are just like purposely, I'm here to have a good time.
They want fun.
I'm in a town that's specifically designed to have a good time.
That's the first place I saw the axe throwing stuff. They have like new ideas. Like for
Oh,
some reason,
yeah.
people will bring new ideas and they'll like Vegas. People want to, what's the next thing that people want to do? What do they want to try? So I think that's a good place. Like if you have an idea and you want to see if people are into it, that's the place to do it.
Yeah.
So that's where you'll see a lot of these robots and stuff like that there. They'll have some kind of robot wrestling or
Well, it'll be
something.
robot prostitutes. They'll
Sure.
they'll unleash them. That'll be the first place they do it in Vegas.
And
I'm
the
old
weed
school.
thing there too, which is weird that their weed laws are you can buy it, but you can't really smoke it on the street or in the hotels or anything like that. So I don't know where people are actually smoking that weed, but that just added another layer
You gotta go over someone's house. It's like an Airbnb for smoke breaks.
just on top of the
Like a Uber
stratosphere. You gotta.
Is
Can't even do
hot
it up
box in
there.
the battle box arena.
But there is the sad of Vegas, and let's face it, there's some like you go to old Vegas and you're like walking down those streets. It's sad, but
Oh, yeah.
There's definitely a lot of sad in Vegas.
there's some fun to it too, though. And that's all those museums, like just crazy museums there.
If you're gonna have gambling, you're gonna have failure. You're gonna have, you have people who just fucking hit the rocks.
Yeah.
At 400 miles an hour.
4 a.m. You can't
Yeah.
quit the penny slots.
People lose everything. Have you ever seen those videos of people just peeing in their seats because they don't feel like getting up?
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, there's this girl. She's sitting
I
there.
haven't seen that video.
There's this girl sitting there on her phone,
No.
and she's sitting at one of the slot machines. She just pisses.
A girl or
Yeah,
an
a
older
girl,
woman?
a lady.
Was she
a
hot?
Look, she's just sitting there pissing.
She's kind of
So
hot.
she's on the phone. She just says, "I'm just gonna fucking piss." So she's just pissing while she's sitting there.
But she doesn't look like a degenerate.
That's
she
in
just looks like
Vegas?
drunk.
she's probably both.
She's
Oh,
too
that's
hot
weird.
to be like a
She's-
degenerate.
She's probably drunk or
Bro,
something.
she's just pissing on the ground in front of everybody,
Lucky ground.
and people are filming it. And she's got like a beautiful purse, nice
know.
shoes.
That's in Vegas?
Yeah.
It doesn't really. Wow.
What casino is that at, Jamie?
I don't know. I'm just looking
Heaven.
Woman pees while gambling at casino. She refuses to go to the bathroom so she doesn't ruin her
Take
luck.
the caption out of it. Is there any chance
What a
that's
t-
not what it is?
Yeah,
Yeah, like what if it's coming from her bag or she put a drink in between her legs?
what a weird ad for
Or
that.
she's really turned on.
I would like to just keep believing she's peeing.
It's what it
Yeah,
looks like.
that makes it better.
What it looks like.
What a weird.
It definitely looks like she's peeing.
I can't get over how hot she
People,
is.
Apparently, people do that though. I've talked to people.
I
that
was
say people
expecting
just,
someone in one of
I've
those
seen it in
scooters.
other videos, but this is the one that went around viral.
Right. That's because she's hot.
I thought
Yeah. Don't they do that in Times Square at
Everywhere.
with the ball?
the people
with
are
the ball
peeing and
drop?
shitting everywhere.
Don't people wear diapers because it's so
Yeah.
crowded? for
You're
the
not
ball
allowed to
drop?
leave once you get in that zone,
Yeah.
security zone.
They should all die.
What?
Sorry. If you're wearing a diaper to go see something and you can't pee,
Well-
you're useless.
Anyway,
Right, Dave?
that was weird. I'm not wearing a diaper today. We'll change my catheter. on the
Imagine they
break.
gave you that option. They just connected you. Would you like to be connected to the urinal? And you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, sure. Just connect me. And they just strap you in, put you in a chair, and you just zip your dong, just let it hang out. And you can pee at any time. You're in a bag. You're in like a blue dark bag.
I hate
Yeah, as long as I
hate
didn't have
those
to
machines.
sit in it,
Yeah.
I'd do that.
Those machines suck. I'd rather like play blackjack. I was playing them with you and the thing. These dumb machines. It's like by the time you figure it out, you're already about $100 into these dumb games. And then I'm like, look at all this like information, and it's like you never know if you're winning or not. It's like, why am I hitting my like an idiot? You're hitting the butt, waiting for a
Ding,
treat
ding,
to
ding,
come
ding,
out.
ding, ding,
But I
ding.
like the classic, and it's just
I was winning.
I don't know how people do it.
And then every time he came around me, I started losing.
Yeah, I was a dark cloud.
Slot revenue made up 66.3% of total gaming win. Wow. Penny slots generated 9.6% of total slot win with $3.15 billion, which is pennies,
That's crazy.
which
That's
is
an
down
Amer-
12% from 2022, while slots that accept multiple denominations generated $5.9 billion, up 16.7% from last year. So people are getting dumber.
People always have
They're
money
getting
to
dumber.
gamble.
They're getting dumber. They're blowing more money on slot machines.
I'm a part of it. I'm a big slot machine
What's your
guy.
biggest win on a slot? What's your biggest win?
$1,100.
And how long did it take you to get that?
I was there for like an hour.
Oh, that's not bad.
If you had a guess, though, like how much are you in the hole to slot machines all time?
Oh, Joe. So much. Well, I mean, I lost like $3,000 when I was in Vegas.
On
I was
slot
there.
machines.
Well, I play a little roulette too, but
Which was
I like how
money-
that's your backup game. Roulette. I understand this game.
I'm an idiot. It's just
like another guessing. I'm guessing.
Last night on stage, I lost $20 betting someone on rock paper scissors in the front row. I love gambling. I'm not good at it.
Are you a sports guy too?
No, I don't like sports.
Sports, because we really can make it. Yeah.
I don't understand the over unders and the parlays. And
So
Yeah,
you're just
but
a
we've been to the
games
track
guy.
on the
Yeah.
road, and that's fun.
Yeah.
And that's another one where it takes forever to figure it out. The trifectas and
Yeah.
the quintellas and all those.
Oh, yeah.
All those other.
yeah.
Those track junkies are weird folk.
Oh yeah, my uncle was one of them. He let me, got me to pull the trigger on the start of a race once.
Oh wow.
It's a
Yeah.
fun date though. Like if you take a girl, like hey, this is kind of cool. Like we're the upper class, but it's like you're surrounded by some of the saddest people who've ever lived. The people who live at the track.
The saddest shit is off-track betting. That's the
That was
saddest
so
shit.
much fun.
Oh, yeah.
OTB.
Yeah,
OTB.
remember that?
Oh my god.
In New York, they had off-track betting.
Oh,
The
Chinatown is everywhere.
gambling junkies would go and
Yeah.
bet on the races from the middle of nowhere.
That was the most unhealthiest place. Like you would walk in, it was like waves of smoke, and
Yeah.
just it was just terrible going in there. I remember people like would. I was like, "Do you have a bathroom here?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? There's no bathroom here."
People would be living in it.
Yeah, come on.
They'd be taking showers in there. Yeah, off-track betting was this guy, White Plains Charlie, that I used to hang around with at White Plains in executive billiards in White Plains, and he would always go to off-track betting during the day, and he'd come back complaining.
What is off-track betting?
This is before the internet, where you put it in and you'd be able to bet on races around the country.
So you're betting on horse races,
Yeah.
but you're nowhere near the horse race. And all these fucking psychotic gamblers.
These guys are nuts.
Look at these people. They're all just completely addicted. They're all shady. Everyone's in there. Everyone's fucked their whole life up with this addiction.
Yeah, that was my uncle, man.
And they're just donating money.
I remember.
It looks like the DMV.
I was gonna say, like, I remember walking past. I was like, "Is this like the cab authority? Is this like where the cabbies hang out?"
Look how sad these guys look.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
give me a click on some of the folks hanging out there.
They're great.
They just look like everything's gone wrong.
Look at that guy explaining.
I'll fucking tell you what the government's plan is. Yeah, they're all just junkies.
That's the name of one of the horses' government's plan.
It was a nice way to spend an afternoon. That's how they portrayed it on the commercial.
Just a bunch of junkies.
Oh God, Ghost of Wagers Pass, still living.
Yeah, they closed this is all down.
They don't have off-track betting anymore?
I don't think so.
I think
When
they
did they
do
make that illegal?
near the Manhattan Bridge.
Do you think?
I think
An
so.
OTB
Lifelong
maybe.
That's when I
Upper
was
West
there.
Side Sider makes documentary about off-track betting.
Oh, look, that looks classy though. With the
That's a nice spot.
yeah,
gold.
that's a nice one.
Yeah.
That's the Upper West Side.
They're betting on something besides horses there. I think that's like falconry or something. Something another level of animal.
Well, there's always dog races too, right?
Yeah,
Like
I've been to those in
Yeah.
person, and they were a lot of fun.
Really?
They used to have the thing where this was like a rite of passage, or at a state fair where they had monkeys riding dogs, and they were like, "This has got to end now." And I'm like, "Oh, come on, it's hilarious." And the monkeys would be like riding them around. They'd have like them do a circle. Man, that was really fun. I think everybody had a good time. The dog, the monkey, everybody was having a good time in that
I
one.
saw a video today of India, and these folks are walking down this road, and this monkey runs up behind and just drop kicks this lady, and then
see?
Look at this monkey riding.
It's a good heat. I got the guy in red. I got the guy in red.
So
Purple's
crazy.
making a comeback.
Hey, stop! Hey, what's going on? my
See?
friend?
Whoa!
He's
We should have
bored.
bet.
Oh, this is like such
does
a
he
lame
see?
one. But look at the dogs.
He's easily distracted.
You're taking a bow.
Do any of the monkeys rip the dogs' faces off?
That's great.
No, they know better than that. Dogs will bite their fucking
Are they
head off.
friends? Like, do
They
they,
have
get
to
along?
be buddies. The dogs don't seem to mind.
They have to split the purse.
The dogs probably, for the dogs, probably like being pet. Like, yeah, he's petting me.
Oh,
He's riding me.
he's wearing a little dress.
And they don't weigh much.
Oh, that's so fun.
So these people were walking down this road in India, and this monkey runs up behind them, drop kicks this one lady, and then runs a little further and drop kicks this little kid, and then just runs off. Like 100% did it on purpose.
That's
just
great.
Like, fuck these people.
That's
He's
great.
a migrant.
What an angry.
Runs
What an angry.
runs up with its back feet. Like
a drop kick,
Yeah,
right?
like a real like pro wrestling
Did
drop
it try to
kick.
steal their purse, or was
Nope,
it
just
love of the
fucked
game?
them up. Just the love of the game.
That's
Just
awesome.
drop some bombs on these fucking fools.
That's the best.
Oh, nice one.
Oh, bro.
You've been served. It's like,
This
boom.
monkey just decided to fuck this dude up.
Well, he's egging him on, though.
He's like, fuck
Did he
you.
give him the finger?
Oh.
He tried
Oh
to.
my God.
He tried to stand his ground, but
Yeah,
the
he tried to
monkey's
say
like,
fuck you to the monkey.
that guy was.
Drop kicked
I
in
hate
his
to say it.
face.
He was.
He left his thing behind.
Yeah.
He's so disoriented.
So
Yeah.
where's the monkey? Is this outdoors or is it indoors?
The one that I saw, it was indoor or outdoors rather. There's
Oh,
That
no
is
road,
those little
dirt road.
guys.
That's a
they'll-
scary attack.
They'll steal your fucking kids, man.
This is crazy. Oh, look at those tails, man.
Oh, they're dragging the girl. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that's sketchy. I would not let the monkey grab my fucking kid.
No.
It's
But
amazing.
then you got to realize, like, they'll fuck you up. Like, a little monkey will fuck you up.
It's like that.
You can't treat it like it's a little person.
They must think we're so stupid. Like they just we keep feeding them and like
Yeah.
I mean honestly.
Well, then a lot of places they'll take your phone.
Yes.
In order to give the phone back, you have to give them something.
That's smart.
That's why
So you have
Rock-
to give them food.
Yep.
Can you train the
Let's see
monkey to
them take
steal
this.
a phone and give it to you so you can
Sure you
sell
can.
it?
I'm sure you can.
And that's in like where's it where like they live in like a monastery or a ruin or something like that. They kind of control the town. I think it's in India or Thailand or something like that, where it's like just troops of monkeys, hundreds of them, stop
Controlling
traffic,
towns.
and they
Yeah.
can't do anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You can't fight them unless you're willing to go to war. You got to really be willing to go to war.
You got
Kenzo, what's your weapon?
You got to need machine guns.
yeah. How would you
Yeah.
fight the monkey army?
Yeah,
That's
they're going to
tough.
swarm on you. You're going to be able to. You got to be able to. Maybe even. Yeah, you need something where you,
You don't
got
think like a
multiple
mace?
rounds. No,
Just smack
no,
'em
they'll
all?
take that mace around away from you and stuff it up your ass.
But
They'll
you
jump on your face and bite your nose off, and then you drop the mace, and then they beat you to death with the mace. Like you're fucked. You
Beating
got
with
to
your
have
own
a
weapon.
motorcycle helmet on, Kevlar suit.
There it is.
Yeah,
You got to look like Tex Cobb in Raising Arizona.
exactly. No, but he was still vulnerable.
Yeah.
His skin was exposed. You want to literally be wearing like a motorcycle riding outfit made out of Kevlar.
Oh my God! Look
yeah.
at them.
Yeah.
That's like two troops of monkeys going at it.
Yeah, they're fighting.
Look at that.
Well, this was, I think, during COVID. One
Yep.
of the things that happened during COVID was they didn't have access to all the tourists. So they
Yeah.
were starving.
Yep.
So they had to become dependent upon people and where people would hang out and leave food.
Oh
and-
my
You're right.
God!
Yeah.
Look at those guys.
They're probably fucking starving.
Look, that's a nice spread though that they put out for them.
That is pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's good.
Sort of like
One guy was dressed as a monkey. I'm infiltrating.
a nice little buffet. Look at this. Sort of cool.
Like a
Look at all
car-
the different plates of food.
Like a carnival cruise.
Yeah, it's
They're
nice.
Like,
Yeah, they're at the
like
buffet.
all you can eat.
Look at them. They're fucking having a good old time. You would think that
They
with
look
all
really
this nice
healthy.
treatment, they wouldn't steal any babies, but they still will.
Monkey masks on too. Did you see that?
Someone
What's
get
that?
greedy.
This guy's wearing a giant mask.
They're so smart.
Oh, boy.
He's their leader.
I think that might be a statue. Is that a statue or a dude? That's a statue.
Oh, yeah, that's like the god. They're worshipped.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Wow. Oh, that looks like rats, like the way
I
they're
know.
circling.
Isn't
like
it
that.
wild what people...
Oh,
It's so wild what people choose to and choose not to worship, you know? Look, he's shaking it off. It's like,
yeah.
enough for the table, boys. Boy, what a fucking horrible life that is.
Wow.
Oof. Imagine being a monkey in India. And no tourists show up, and you're like, you gotta be kidding. Where's the food, man?
if they only had dogs to ride, then they could make a living. Then they could really make a difference.
Do you know the story of cobra charmers?
No.
No.
Cobra Charmers started because they started offering people money to kill cobras. And so what people realized is you could breed cobras and then kill those cobras. And so every cobra you capture and kill, they give you a little bit of money. So they started breeding cobras. And so then the government got wise to it and say, hey, stop. You can't do this. No more bounty on cobras. And they're like, what are we going to do with these fucking cobras? And so they started fucking doing shows with them.
No shit.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Oh, wow.
See if that's true.
Oh, did you just tell us? Did
No,
you
I didn't make
this
it up. No.
Oh.
Imagine if I made it up.
Yeah.
But I
I
don't
believed
remember
it.
the source, which is often the case. I don't remember the source of that story.
You
but
mean
I'm
we
pretty
can't
sure.
make these cobras fuck anymore?
Yeah, they fucking. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
People
get a little.
People find ways.
Where are
Figure out
they?
a way,
Where are they
yeah.
native to? That's India. Like where are the cobras?
I believe it's India.
India, right?
Yeah. I mean, you think about the people going back and forth from Mexico and making $8,000 a month. Like,
Yeah.
same kind of deal. People find a little loophole. Like, I got an idea.
To breed cobras.
Bro, I'm breeding cobras.
Making the criminals.
That's another
Prosecute
tough
them.
one.
How many
Cobra
guys
bite?
died breeding cobras?
Yeah.
I'm looking through the thing, but that's a pretty sneaky thing I never heard.
For safety, some North American snake charmers stitch close the mouth of the performing snakes,
Oh.
leaving just enough opening for the animal to be able to move its tongue in and out. Members of the audience in that region believe the snake's ability to deliver venomous bites comes from its tongue rather than its fangs. Snakes
Weird.
subjected to this practice soon die of starvation or mouth infection and must be replaced by
Oh my
freshly
God.
caught specimens. Similar methods are used in India, where snakes are defanged and have their venom glands incapacitated. They are also kept in boxes or bags for 30 to 45 days and dehydrated so their muscles cramp, making them sluggish, so they will drink the milk offered by the devotees at festivals. The milk is undigestible to the snake.
Jesus Christ.
Wow, it's abuse.
Methods of dealing with the fangs include expert surgical removal of both of the fangs and replacement fangs, which has been done by some Native American and African snake charmers. Barring extraordinary measures, pulled fangs are replaced within days. Fangs may also be plugged with wax or other material.
God.
Well, it's like a 3-card Monty, kind of like you're thinking it's the guy could really die, nothing could happen to him.
Right, but see if that's the origin of that they used to Google that. Like if they used to give bounties for cobras, but people took advantage of it. Pretty sure that's a real story.
This has the history, goes all the way back to ancient Egypt.
Right,
A viper.
but in
real-
India, what I'm talking about is the bounty on cobra thing.
The real money's in being a snake dentist with all those fang removals.
Yeah,
But
how
I
do
mean,
you
not,
do
I'm
that?
not saying that they invented it, but I'm saying like that's where it came from. Like where there were so many of them, and it was associated with India. That these are people that apparently had a bunch of snakes laying around. Like, look, we need to figure out a way to fucking diversify.
Wasn't that St. Patrick? Didn't he chase all the snakes out of
Snakes.
Ireland? Wasn't he the guy?
But what are you supposed to do? It's like
Imagine
one of
being a
those.
snake living in Ireland. It's so cold, it's wet all the time. It's probably easy to chase them out of there.
Bring me back to India and take my teeth out.
What happens with the like? What are you supposed to tip that guy? Like,
I don't know if
it's
this
like a
is
street
true.
performance.
This is in a longer article. The first paragraph says
Legend goes that a cobra infestation plagued Delhi in the 1800s, so the British Raj decided to offer cash reward for every dead cobra. The menace briefly
You're right.
subsided until the
Yeah.
plan backfired. Savvy Indians built cobra farms so they could have a constant supply of snakes to kill and redeem for money. Yeah.
Wow, you
There
were
it
right.
is. British
Whoa.
eventually uncovered the scheme and ended its incentive. With no use for the now worthless snakes, breeders released the creatures onto Delhi streets.
Wow, you were right, man.
Yeah. So it made the problem worse. That's right. That's what it was.
Oh, wow.
I fucked up the story.
No, you got
It
a
made the
lot of it right.
Yeah, you
The
nailed
problem
it.
worse.
Oh shit,
Yeah,
man.
people are gross.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck these cobras. They just let them loose.
You don't see that on New York streets anymore, like with the like performing dogs or any of that kind of stuff. You don't see any kind of animal.
That's illegal, but you can
Yeah.
just go shit in the curb. And that's
Yeah,
okay.
well, that's
that's
yeah,
fine.
it.
Yeah, that's a performance.
You will see somebody who's like, I'm a squatter with a dog, and the poor dog's there all day long, just like laying next to him.
Is that-
that I always feel like
Are
is-
those
is-
dogs drugged, or are they so socialized that they're just docile?
I think
Probably
that's
so
what they're used to living
socialized.
like that. So.
Yeah,
You think?
they're just used to that existence.
But you're really giving money to the dog, hoping that he'll take the
Right.
money and
Oh,
take
yeah.
care of the dog, but really we
A
don't know
homeless
what he's
guy
doing.
without a dog is probably like 60% less effective than a homeless guy with a dog.
You
That's
don't
my
know-
rough estimation.
Yeah.
You remember Norm
Right.
Macdonald's joke
Probably
about the
make
homeless
more.
guy with the dog? It's like, wow, what is the dog thinking? This is the longest walk ever. Are we ever going home? Man, this has been going on for days now.
That's the fucked up thing about dogs. They're so awesome. They'll love you even
Yeah,
if you're just
they love-
homeless and
Yeah.
just fucking lazy as shit and
Yep.
never getting anything done. They still love you.
Yeah.
It's real unconditional love.
It's beautiful.
My cat does that.
Sure. Your cat will eat you when you die.
Cats have
Within
yeah.
seconds.
Good.
Within seconds.
I'll be one with him finally.
Be inside of him.
Yeah.
All right, kids, let's wrap this bitch up and bring it home. Ian, very fun. Thank
This
you for
was
being
a
here.
blast. Thank
My
you,
pleasure,
man.
brother. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see you guys this weekend. So,
Thank you,
Dave,
buddy.
you're the fucking man. I love you to death. You're one of the
Thank
best
you.
of all time.
Joe, thank you for all